We are so back. I'm so hungry. Hello, Light. Hi, Siles. You found Elia's house in game? Oh my god. Hi, Frog. Sorry, I'm answering a lore question right now. And eating mac and cheese. Hi, Cece. Okay, Astra, are you, or... It feels weird not to call you Glitch. Are you in the stream by any chance? Because I'm trying to type this all out, and I'm struggling to, like, explain, in typing, because it's such a long explanation to your question. Nice job. My holiday was pretty good. The travel back was a nightmare, but we're good now. All right. How are things going with everyone? I am hungry. I need to go to the bathroom, but I'm gonna wait until like halfway through the stream so we can just do like a BRB thing. Let me do the streaming thing. And let me open up Lord Tuesday. Lord Tuesday. And then we'll get started. Well, let me keep the keyboard sounds divine, thank you. It is a very buttery keyboard. We actually don't have too much stuff to cover. It's only from the 16th, and I think we're gonna be fine. We can get that all in one. Oh my god. Sorry, I'm trying to eat. Where have I been pinged? Strawberry yogurt pretzels. Yeah, what's everyone's snack of choice for the stream? All right. Yeah, and if any staff want to come in here and hang out, this is gonna be a pretty chill one. And then tomorrow I will be streaming until midnight Eastern. For a, you know, we'll do games and play on the server, do fireworks, all that. A flapjack and a singular kimchi. Singular? You gotta have more than that. I love kimchi. I need to go get some. Raw salmon. What are you, a bear?
No.
What?
Hello. I heard we were welcome, so I came here to know you.
You just came in and said no, and I was like answering someone in chat or asking a question. I said, "What are you? What are you, a bear?" And then you came in and said no. Okay.
Hello.
Highlight. All right.
It's gonna be great.
I'm
It's
trying to
gonna be
eat
great.
all of my mac
Oh,
and
yeah.
cheese, so I'm not chewing during the reading.
Oh yeah, we found the Elias house in Minecraft.
Yeah, tell.
Even
So, okay,
though-
wait, was that during like some event or was it just random?
What?
It was just random. I decided, you know what? Since we were on Vladislau a little bit, that I was gonna go find Elia's house.
Hmm.
I found it. Yippee.
Yeah, Mika found it. I was gonna go right past him. It was right behind me, and I didn't notice.
See, this is why I was just like wander off. Like always, like I just wander off, and
There's a lot of
eventually
cool
find
stuff around the server that nobody really notices.
Like the dragon statue.
The giant like skeleton thing is pretty cool too.
Yeah,
It's on like
sure.
a floating island.
Yeah, that's Ace.
Yeah.
Aces. Or did
Truffle,
post
I
anything
cannot
large
wait
to-
to read that.
Oh yeah, I didn't post anything this large Tuesday because I was like, I'm gonna give Freya a break.
Thank you. I think a lot of people did that. I did even post like one thing, but that was just because I kind of had to after the thing. Okay. Let's get started. Oh, my camera is really high up, and I forgot to change my settings, and I know I look gross. It's because I traveled all day yesterday, and I haven't taken a shower yet because I've had to do so much stuff. Let me
Thinking.
configure my video. Okay. Should be...
Oh shit, I almost closed Discord.
There we go. We're chill.
And it was after the 16th. As I distinctly remember read that
Did we read the
the
16th?
comic was read. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. December 17.
Yes.
Okay, wait, no, we did the 17th too, I feel.
Did we
Did we?
know?
No, okay, because I thought I read the...
No.
I remember reading the Oliver thing. Maybe that was just myself, I read it. Alright, let's get started. First off, John Angler is missing, and still missing, as far as I know. So that's
Well,
unfortunate.
your guard force really isn't great. It's not even looking for the lost
Okay, this was
people.
before the guard force, I'm pretty sure, like, was started up, so...
So it doesn't count?
Well, they didn't exist before!
So it doesn't count because the guard force wasn't created yet?
Yeah!
What?
Also, CJ, you should be asleep.
Justice for John Angler, oh my god.
I've been telling them that. CJ, go to sleep.
No,
sleep.
Yes,
no, I don't have school in the morning though. I'm good.
Okay, that's
guess
fair.
what?
Yeah,
Fair
I don't
point.
have school the entire week.
Guess what?
I don't have school at all.
Chicken butt. There you go.
I'm banning Mika.
Oh no! Ah!
I just realized CJ's thingy isn't...
I hope you stub your toe, Mika.
Oh, thank you. I have no toes.
You don't have toes?
What are
I don't
you,
have
the
to-
witches from that one Roald Dahl book? What?
Okay. I think... There we go. CJ has appeared now. Alright, from Oliver. I've been saved. What in Solace's name is going on, though? Yeah, you've missed a lot. There's so much that's happened while I've been gone, and Lucky's trying her best to catch me up on it all. Thanks for rescuing me, Lucky, and for spending approximately 3 hours cutting me out of ropes. Also, rope burn is not something to be trifled with. Yeah, you've missed quite a lot of stuff, Oliver.
Oh,
We're gonna
God.
come back to a few people being dead, and a few people who were dead being back.
Hmm.
Should you get mayo or ketchup for your salmon? I feel like mayo is more of a salmon thing than ketchup. Although I don't know, I don't like salmon or tuna, so I wouldn't know.
Mayo or ketchup, both of them, from my perspective, I've never tried either. This sounds gross, respectfully. I've never tried
Oh,
that.
they're not. I've never tried mayo, but I've had ketchup. It's not too gross, but it's more preferable to have it with a burger rather than a sandwich.
Oh, salmon. Styles is eating salmon, like raw salmon.
Oh,
Oh.
Wait,
oh, then I recommend mayo for that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Mayo's probably better. They
Um,
both sound
unless-
bad,
unless the
TBH.
Unless the salmon is fried, then if it's fried, I recommend the ketchup to offset the taste a little bit. But that's just my opinion.
I am by no means an expert, so I don't know. Salmon is low on my fish taste list.
I think I tried salmon
Sriracha
before.
would be
It's
good.
not too bad.
Freya, so you're vegetarian. Where the heck do you get your protein from?
Tofu.
Like potatoes?
And like a lot of things. A lot of things have protein that like what I always ask people who are like, where do you get your protein? Is like, where do you get your fiber? Because nobody's eating enough fiber. I'm eating enough fiber.
I eat fiber supplements.
Okay. You are probably eating a lot of fiber. Because I eat a lot of beans. I don't know about you. I eat a lot of
Oh.
legumes. And I eat a lot of tofu.
Beans are good.
I am, okay, to answer your question, Bacon, I am vegetarian until I step into an all-you-can-eat revolving sushi bar that's 4 minutes away.
But it's
then,
more of a preference.
I've been a vegetarian for my whole life, but I'm trying to, like, try meat and stuff for a couple reasons. Because, like, one, because, you know, I want to try things. I like to explore and experiment with new foods. And two, I've always been very, like, I don't know if I would call it a fear, but, like, very nervous about eating foods outside of my comfort zone. Which is, okay, maybe not that. Specifically meat. Because I've never had it before and I feel like I'm gonna get sick if I eat it. So part of this is trying to step outside of my comfort zone and prove to myself I'm not gonna get sick if I eat meat.
Freya, I need to take you to a freaking Mexican party and then just have you eat like a bunch of tacos and shit like that. You're gonna love it.
I'm sure it would be, like, if someone makes me food, I am never going to refuse it. Virgil, there's nothing in any of those suitcases.
Oh, they're empty?
Yes, I emptied them
My
earlier.
shower stuff already
Hello,
in the
Virgil.
Uh,
Hi, Virgo.
it's over where it usually sits, the black bag.
shower? It
by
never
the-
sits over there. It's
By the
just-
sink. The black toiletry bag by the sink. Alright, sorry. Alright, Freya's schedule. So this was posted on the wall of the community center. It says, everyone is so curious about what I do besides baking. Here's my weekly schedule. I hope this proves to you that I am doing something useful with my time. Freya got a little fed up. And made an entire list of what she does every day. And people were making fun of me for this. Fun of her for this. Hold on.
I wonder
There.
who.
Sorry, this is gonna be like super bright. Let me make it like dark, maybe.
Oh.
That might be a little bit better for people. Okay. It is a crazy schedule. I mean, she doesn't have to sleep, so so every day she goes through and does like a sweep of a bunch of different sections on Solace, sweeping for bad people. 5 in the morning, she starts baking for Marcelo because he's bad at cooking canonically. So, you know, gotta keep him fed. And then 6 o'clock, she visits Marcelo, and then she does a bunch of paperwork. And then depending on the day, she has like branch visits, and then she does more sweeping, and then on Sunday she has the faction meeting prep stuff. Other days she does paperwork and terraforming, and then she goes and visits Marcelo again, and then starts her sweeping of Solace's surface once again, and it does that every single day. So I hope that, you know, that proves that she does do something, guys. She's not lazy. Not enough
Yeah.
baking.
Didn't you get flames by water?
Yeah. Yeah, and I haven't posted that yet because I didn't get all the people necessary, but I might write something about it. But yeah, there's a video that might go up about Freya talking to branch leaders and Waters being like, yeah, I saw your schedule. Your sweeping pattern is so predictable and stupid, basically.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah, he's not wrong. No hour slots for whimsy. Yeah. You know, every once in a while she'll go off of the schedule, you know, during special events and stuff, obviously, but like day to day, that's what she does. Alright, Scarab information. Magos lore. I'm scared. I am scared of the scarabs. Files booting up. File named Exoskeleton Defensive Motorized Helper Terrestrial Device. I thought that, like, spelled something now. Solace nicknamed the Scarabs. Appearance, they appear to be small bug-like machines. Depending on their main owner, the color of the orb in the middle and the lights may change color. There are 3 classes of Scarab: Olympic, Butcher, and Scalpel. Olympic class is typically 5 feet tall and 7 feet long. These Scarabs... That's terrifying! Jeez! These Scarabs are used in combat as heavy infantry. They're modular, their blasts are known to turn basic compounds to ash. Butcher class is typically the size of a normal Earth cat. They've been used for combat, maintenance, gathering, and surveillance, the most common Scarab. And Scalpel class, typically the size of a human fingernail. That's tiny. They are used heavily in the medical field and spyware. They have the most attitude out of the bunch. That's funny. Creator, the great builder of the Red Sands, speaker of the Council of Iron Arch, Magos Silo. Facts, they are made from oleum, a type of steel forged on Orion. They can replicate if they eat enough biomass. They can be biodegradable. AI structure. They have a hive mind-like structure where members can split off to form a mini hive mind if far away from the main. Past owner Archmagos Maliocane? There we go. Current Magos Solvex. Cool. So if the owner does Mira own a Scarab? Or is that just Marcelo?
Mira owns a Scarab for herself.
Right. Wonder what the colors are for Mira's Scarab and Marcelo's Scarab. Marcelo's definitely kicked that thing like under a like desk somewhere, or like put it in a box.
Yeah, Magos might revoke Marcella's Scarab privileges.
Yeah. It was a gift. Marcelo did not want it. Alright, from all over again. Lucky is surprisingly good with bandages. Still need to find some help to stitch up my coat, though. Aw. Poor Lucky. Also, I like the little rat in the hat. It's very cute.
There's 2 rats.
Right. That one's also cute, but I like the rat in the hat the best. Yesterday, above Elia's hideout, we have some Waters lore. Yeah. Play this.
Don't worry, boss. I'm not here for any trouble. I'm just checking in on you.
How did you find me?
I was in the area. Thought you might come back. Thought I could be here when you did. You okay?
I'm tired. I'm lost. Many people in my life, many good soldiers, but this is too much.
Didn't she kidnap you and torture you?
It is complicated. Was complicated. I can't say it is anymore. I have to say something that's traditional, isn't it?
Sure, I can step back a bit if you need like privacy or something. Yeah, I'm gonna step back. You can stop staring, glaring. I don't know, I can't tell in there. It's weird to think that now you actually have eyes in there. Right? Right. Stepping back.
You actually wouldn't have wanted to say anything, how you always hated speeches. You wanted to die where nobody would know you or make a headstone. I'm sorry, I ruined that for you. You were very close to achieving that.
Just pathetic. The agent is dead, big whoop. You wanted this, don't you? You looked at her and you wanted her dead. I don't tell me you kill her. I told you to do your job. My fault you turned that interpretation too.
You pushed me to do this. Didn't want.
Pushed you. You think I pushed you? I reminded you of everything she said or did to you. I reminded you of what you could do, who she could hurt, who she has hurt. I didn't physically touch you. It was just a triangular based on your own interpretation, as I said. Though I'm really wishing it had been you.
I'm not that person anymore.
Hey, Waters, I thought I heard.
It was your words. The lover you once knew and thought cared for you deeply. Never considered anything more than a threat. I feel for you, really, I do, but, part of it, never trust a rabid dog not to bite.
Shut up.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What was that?
Violence.
That voice, just now.
You heard that?
Yeah. Kinda hard not to with the whole echoey thing going on. What was it saying to you? Was Elia?
To go.
Hey, wait, look, seriously, are you okay?
No, you're not okay. My daughter died, and I had to kill a soulmate. Take a guess and let go of me.
No way he's calling. I mean, like, dude, Elliot cannot. You gotta let Elliot go. Like,
No, I think she is dead though.
she's
is
dead, but like, you gotta let her go. Bro, she was a terrible person.
But again, he spent a lot of time with her, so
You also gotta remember that she
help of but think, oh well, I love
Also
this
remember-
person.
remember
she
that he was
was.
also manipulated the hell out of her by her. Like, you have to realize
Yeah.
that. He's
That's
still
fair.
because you know how like when you're like in a toxic relationship, you don't realize how toxic it is. Like, yes, you realize that it's bad, but you still have that impression that, hey, this is a person I knew, this is a person who I thought she was, and that's the person you fell in love with.
Did he
So you still
go?
need to do.
Did he go to like Light's tree?
No.
But he
I
went
don't
to his
know.
toxic ex. He built a grave for his toxic ex, but didn't
No,
do
he
shit
did. He
about
did go
Light.
to. No, wait. He did. Wait.
He did. He did very
He
recently.
did go
He
to the
did today.
tree. He
Okay.
did go to the tree.
All right. Next up, we got the Winter Ball stuff from Strawberry.
Also, hi, Myth.
Oh, hi, Myth. He did go to the funeral just after everyone left. But that's what I'm
He
saying.
needs
Like,
to see
yeah,
the-
the funeral. But like, did he go any time before the funeral to like, you know? He had an obligation to make the grave for Elia after killing her because he knew nobody else would.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Everyone deserves a grave.
To be
It's
fair,
decent
I've
respect.
always said that like if Okul was ever killed or died or whatever, that Freya would probably make her grave because no one else would. So, you know, I understand. I understand. Alright, Winter Ball from it's Strawberry and Celestine. Content warning for panic attack and slight body horror. Celestine stood outside the entrance to the ball. The air was crisp with a faint breeze that smelled of old leaves. The only sounds to be heard were the chirping of locusts and the tapping of her heel. Come on, Blueberry. I know there is an exact time to show up, but I would prefer not being late. Her eyes darted to the rustle of the bushes beside her. Strawberry slipped out, wiping the twigs and snow from her dress. Sorry, that puppy was just too cute, she smiled. Celestine gazed upon her for a moment and sighed. You're all right, let's go in. They walked up the front stairs hand in hand. The hustling of people could be heard inside, music blasting triumphantly from a room within. Celestine stopped hesitant for a moment before being promptly dragged in by Blueberry. Their tardiness led them to Miss Freya's opening speech. Groups had already begun to gather in different areas of the large room. Celestine hardly had a chance to decipher anything before she was taken to the dance floor. When the tension in her arm ceased, she looked up at Blueberry, who already seemed to be fully immersed in song. Celestine smiled awkwardly before scanning the room for a place to sit. She eyed the refreshments and realized she had little to eat that day. She ventured over, accidentally bumping into other guests on her way. Her hands landed on the table and she let out a deep sigh. Even out of the crowd, though, she felt no less at ease. As much as she wanted to enjoy the ball, so many things were still on her mind. The ritual, Blueberry's memory, and all these people in one place made her anxious. The eyes along her body flicked back and forth, between lights and people alike, in a constant battle for something to focus on. She felt her legs weakening and mistaking it for just nerves. She attempted to steady herself against the table. Pins and needles made their way up her limbs, slowly rising from her feet up to her torso. Celestine curses in Enochian under her breath. When she reached for a snack, her fingers began to twitch, the muscles spasming as the parasite flooded into her arm. Her legs crumpled under her, and she collapsed onto the table, folding in half. A few plates and crackers fell onto the floor around her, only causing the parasite to panic even further. Celestine looks around frantically. Thankfully, nobody has noticed her, but she can't find Blueberry in the crowd on the dance floor. She feels as the parasite retreats from her face. She feels as the parasite retreats from her face, and instinctively she covers it with her hand, shielding the scarred half of her features from everyone around her. Her breathing grew shallow as panic set in. One hand on her face, the other clawing at the tablecloth. Her feet slip back and forth against the waxed floor, and with her bloated, parasite-ridden arm, she stabs her fingers into the table, using the cloth to drag herself up. Celestine finally regains her balance, leaning against the wall nearby for support. People have started to look at her. Forcing an awkward smile, Celestine attempts to wave with her non-parasitic hand, but she's lost control of her muscles and her arm falls limply to her side. Celestine forced herself to look away from the crowd, her breathing quickening even further. She spots glasses of water on the table. Good. That's good. Water is good. Her arm, now containing the entire parasite, all too big for her muscles, completely covered in eyes darting from place to place, shakes as she reaches for a glass. As she brings it to her mouth, water spills from the sides as the cup shakes. Before it can reach her lips, Celestine's arm tenses, shattering the glass. Shards go flying across the table and into her skin. The room seems to darken around her as faces turn towards her. Concerned and annoyed, and too many eyes are on her at once, and she can feel herself slipping again. knees buckling, and she's on the floor now, and... Celestine? Celestine blinks away tears, looking up at Blueberry as she crouches down in front of her. Oh no, you're Parasite. Are you okay? Celestine bites her lip, embarrassment setting in. Yes, I'm fine. Blueberry's virtual brows furrow. Clearly not. Here, let's get some fresh air. She reaches underneath Celestine's knees, hoisting her up into a princess carry. Celestine's cheeks flush bright pink. Are you sure you want to? I can walk myself, you know. Blueberry laughs. You can walk like this, really? Celestine puffs her cheeks, averting Blueberry's gaze. As the parasite continues to writhe around in her arm, her other limbs go numb and fall limp. Closing her eyes, Celestine begins to slow her breathing, resting her head against Blueberry's chest as the two approach the garden. Now outside, Blueberry rested her hand on Celestine's shoulder. It's okay, Celly, she spoke softly. It's not your fault. Celestine continued to stare forward, but her parasite remained focused on Blueberry. Celestine leaned her head back and sighed. I know, if only it wasn't such an inconvenience. Blueberry silently dried the water that had spilt on Celestine earlier. They sit there in silence, and Celestine regains her composure. Hey, Strawberry, I wasn't sure if I should mention this, but... Celestine is abruptly cut off by Blueberry's frantic enthusiasm. Oh, I love this song! She stands up. Come on, let's go dance. She holds out her hand. Oh, all right. Celestine grabbed it, and they strolled back inside. They step into the ballroom. The music is calm and slow. Celestine looks around, slightly frantic, until her hands interlock with Blueberry's. Her focus becomes clear as she reads Strawberry's thoughtful gaze. Blueberry pulls her in as they step side to side. The room suddenly becomes animated in panic. Celestine looks over to see everything covered in flames and debris. Strawberry? She yells out, scanning the room. Oliver, thanks for following. Welcome, welcome. Her thoughts are filled with screams of pain and confusion. She coughs as thick smoke seeps into her flesh. Struggling to her feet, Celestine dodges falling strands of wood. She can feel the panic rise inside of her again, but she ignores it. Through the plumes of smoke, Blueberry is restless on the floor. She silently writhes, her body making every effort to move, but consistently failing. Oh gods, Blueberry! Celestine sprints towards her. Blueberry is on her palms and knees now, shaking. She looks up. Celly? Her body jerks one last time before giving out, leaving her motionless on the floor. Celestine kneels by her, coughing as she tries to catch her breath. Strawberry, please! Celestine shakes her, panic rising in her chest. She looks around. Many have already fled, but some still lay in need of aid. Others seem unresponsive. The room feels still for a moment as the chaos transforms into a high-pitched ringing. Celestine slowly shifts her palm to Blueberry's chest. The ringing intensifies. The room becomes clear and Celestine chokes on the smoke once again. She can now see the faint rise and fall of her chest. Remembering the quickly spreading fire, Celestine plucks Blueberry off the floor and staggers to the front entrance. The rush of people around her stir the air and she soon feels the cool winter wind on her face. She gasps, feeling the strength of her limbs returning as the crisp wind flows into her lungs. As she runs down the stairs, she turns to see the burning building behind her. She hesitates for a moment, deciding whether her help was needed. She sees Sunny sitting cumberly on the stairs, her face and arms burned. Ada runs out, carrying another survivor before addressing Sunny. Cameron flies in and out, both fanning the smoke and safely gathering injured civilians. She looked back at Blueberry and realized the parasite writhing on her arm, her panic still infused in its system. She feels her lungs seize again. Coughing, she spits up black ooze. She regains her posture, back facing the burning building. She won't be of much help here. Her feet continue forward, unable to turn back. Her eyes fixate on their ride, Blueberry's horse. She sets Blueberry's limp body on the horse, quickly grabs the reins, and runs home. Candlelight dims the room, flickering upon its walls. Celestine gently lays a blanket on Blueberry, tucking her in to keep her warm. She counts the seconds between her breaths, making sure they remain steady. Breathing a sigh, Celestine extends her arm to Strawberry's face. She caresses the screen with the back of her hand. I'm so sorry, Blueberry. I don't know what to do. She stands there for a moment, and feeling tears well up in her eye, she turns and walks from the room. Blueberry shot awake. She looked around, confused. Her recollection of memories is slightly distorted. It felt like only minutes before her and Celestine were dancing before she awoke. How did I... Her voice trails off as she looks down at her dress. A dark substance has sunk into the fabric. Sally? She asks She sets her feet on the floor and stands up. Are you all right? She peers out the door and sees her sitting by a furnace. She's staring at it silently, occasionally sipping tea from a cup. Celestine looks up at the sound of Blue's steps. Blueberry, how are you feeling? Celestine queries, her face full of worry. Blueberry looks at her for a moment and sighs. I don't know. She sits beside her and looks forward. Celestine continues to stare at her. The fire reflects off Blueberry's screen, her face furrowed in sorrow and confusion. Celestine looks forward again, and they listen to the faint chirps of crickets and the fire's crackles, unsure if they are ready for what daybreak has to bring. Well, I was worried that one of them was going to get seriously hurt, but I'm glad that they didn't.
Yeah.
All right. A wee bit of hope. Did you want to read this, CJ?
Sure, I can read it.
Or I mean, I can too. I just always ask
No,
the
it's okay.
people who write their stuff if they want to read it.
I like reading my stuff. Okay. Just waiting for it to load. Okay. The familiar giant skull came visible through the foggy blizzard, the small rowboat soon meeting the sand, the ocean almost passing it over onto the snow-covered beach, but settling it halfway. Hooves sinking into the yellowish-white texture, leaving a brown print with each step, Kron made their way up the mountain into the pale forest of Kindlegrim. Breaths, slow and deep, puffed out from their nose in steamy clouds that blew back around. Blew back around their face and disappeared behind them. They paused at the forested garden edge, each of their hands clasping the opposite shoulder. Their face pulsed with a throbbing heated pain, almost a hum beneath their skin, the frost making it slightly worse. They didn't want to move further. They could see their home, the red grass, the leaves and spores that dispersed from its crown. It'd only take a few moments, but Kron didn't want to. They just felt so heavy. It didn't feel like there was a point. Maybe they should have just stayed in the ground. It was small. It was safe. It was quiet and tight. Nothing and no one would look for them or make anything worse. They didn't need much air. They didn't need to scream to be heard, only to be ignored. Being under there was perfect. Brown? Kron tensed before slowly turning their head to look over their shoulder, the shadows from their hood and the trees gliding over their face, highlighting the state it was in. Their blurry vision focused on the red hair and horns, slowly recognizing the person that slowly took a step forward. Demon? Kron could barely say the full name, their voice fading slightly at the first word before forcing out the second word in a rough rasp. They swallowed, tugging their trench coat closer around themselves, more so to hide the dark mark in their chest area and the filth that soaked through their shirt fabric. They noticed Grumpy Demon, Starry, taking a step forward, and in response they took a step back, only to lean a little on the dole tree near them. They turned their face away, looking down at their hooved feet. They kicked up the snow a little, revealing the lifeless blades of moss and grass beneath. Kron felt ashamed. In a way, usually they would be a lot more happy to see the demon. She was the only other person in Kindlegrim, after all, aside from Croy and, before he died, Mr. Skullhammer, Havoc. They would have made a bit more effort to at least see them like their usual self if they could, but right now they felt like they couldn't, and they hoped Starry would notice and not ask questions like, "Are you okay?" Because obviously they weren't. Then they didn't want to outwardly say it. You could already feel the weight pressing against the back of their eyes. The silence stretched on for what felt like forever. Just as Kron was about to try say something, even just an excuse to keep going, but Starry got there first, her hands stretching out from resting behind her back, which Kron didn't even notice they were there in the first place. "Here, I would have given it to you earlier, but I couldn't find where you were." Kron's eyes widened slightly, ignoring how sore and stiff it was to do so with his right eye. That Starry had said, tension-locked mask in her hands, dark purple, almost black metal highlighting where the cracks were fixed together and filled. New leather straps dangled from the two edges, and a shiny black buckle was attached to one of them. Starry shifted the mask in her hands, giving Kron a glimpse of the state they were in. Red burns, ranging in severity, lining her skin. A light dusting of purplish-black covered her clothes, face, and hands too. I fixed it using kintsugi. It's where you fix something, but highlight the cracks. It shows that it's not perfect, but that's okay. Starry explained, seeming to do her best to talk slowly so that Kron could process what she was saying. Her tail twitched behind her, hinting at her nervousness as she awaited Kron's response. Kron, in return, was quiet, their hands slowly coming up to take hold of the edges of the mask, to which Starry let go so that they could hold it. Their thumb ran over one of the cracks, the fingers on the other hand fiddling with one of the leather straps as they just stared down at it. The design they had drawn onto it when they first found it was still noticeable. Kron sniffled a little, their bottom lip jutting out, their eyes filling with water. This made Starry perk up in alarm, concern coming to her face as she came closer, her hands hovering near Kron's shoulders. "Oh, hell, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you upset." Kron stood up from against the tree, rubbing their eyes with their sleeve, their shoulders trembling as they took a deep, shaky breath in. They opened their mouths to speak, only for a soft sob to come out instead, making them clamp it shut, trying to calm down. Eventually, their arms extended out in front of them, a firm yet careful grip on the mask in one hand, their head turned downwards out of shame at their reaction. "Hug you, please?" Kron's voice was small and hesitant, just about heard over the waves crashing against the frosted beach's edge. They weren't sure if Starry liked hugs or being touched at all, but she did hug them in the ball of fire, but maybe she felt like she had to? Oh gods, what if they were making her feel like she has to now as well? They began to retract their arms, stammering a little, fumbling over Irish and English as if they forgot how to speak both languages. But just as they took a step back, they felt a gentle weight come forward, arms wrapping around their middle and pulling them closer slightly. They found their face held close to the shoulder. And slowly they returned the hug, alongside removing the weight and tension from their body. "Thank you."
Aww, it's so sweet.
Wholesomeness.
Yes.
See, I can do wholesome stuff. I can do that.
You should do it more
very wholesome.
often. You should do it more
I do.
often.
I did.
Good.
And I did try with Croy, but it made Light cry, apparently, so...
Alright, from Balios. Missing my sister. Warnings for blood dismemberment and musical. You have been warned.
Oh, lovely.
Balios wasn't going to the funeral. He knew that already. He didn't want to hear about how amazing the Light was. He wanted to hear Light, not people talking about her. A few days before the funeral, Balios had just finished his 5th crying session of the night. He sat at her grave, the brightness of it contrasting with the night sky. He honestly wished he could be dead too. He didn't like the quietness of the area. Zephyr was standing behind Balios, a couple of feet back. "Balios, I think it's time. I know you're still in grief, but you need to ascend. If we wait too long, we might not be able to do it," Zephyr said in a soft tone. Balios had second thoughts. He wanted his sister, but how would she react? He'd already written notes to a few people, but now he was dealing with gods and revivals. "I couldn't care less about godhood. There is no one left to be a god to, Zephyr. The others hated me, and you don't believe in the gods, and Light is," Balios said. His voice was rough from hours of silent sobs in his tower. "You can bring her back if you ascend. Gods can bring the dead back. You'll have your sister back," Zephyr said. "I know, Fine, let's get this done," Balios said. He stood, his body weak from the lack of food and water. He had lost weight, and he was starting to look different. Zephyr nodded, and the two returned to the tower and went into the basement. They reached the place where the portal for Kathy's banishment was. Now it was a hole in the wall and the floor above. Balios chuckled to himself as he looked at the hole Light had made in the roof of the ceiling. The memory of the day flashed in his mind and sent small tears down his cheeks before he wiped them away. Zephyr walked to the area of the portal. Once he was in and he held his hand up, a A flash of red lightning struck the hole before circling the hole in a circle. Circling the hole in a circle, huh? Going faster until the other side appeared to be on Finda. The portal is open. It's time to go, Zephyr said before stepping into the portal. Belios shook his head to clear the memory and wiped his tears. He then followed Zephyr through the portal. On the other side, they were on Finda, but they were at the castle that now lay in ruin. The one Belios slightly remembered tearing down after a talk with Nikolai. They both sighed, and they both began walking through the rubble. Zephyr was looking for anything he might like. He did like scavenging, after all. Belios was just looking at some of the torn paintings. The faces of his parents were ripped up. His face looked different. Instead of torn, it looked similar to how he looked now. The antlers from the tree, the broken mask over the right side of his face. But the painting showed a new arm, wings, and veins across his neck and back that looked like corruption spreading. He rubbed his eyes and it looked normal. Just him sitting on the throne, looking like he did before the vanishing. Belios sighed. The lack of sleep was probably getting to him. He looked around and he saw the trail that would lead to the forest. He felt that strange pull once again, but it didn't feel like the one he felt the night he met Nikolai. He decided to start walking towards the trail. Zephyr stopped scavenging and noticed Belios walking away. He decided to follow. After all, this was supposed to be a mission of ascension, not random walks. But as the two walked, the bright green forest shifted to the purple willow trees, then to the corrupted and decayed trees that Belios had killed years ago. Then they reached the large violet willow tree, which still grows to this day. The dirt by the tree was still in the little mound from where he buried Nikolai. Zephyr looked around, noticing things Belios hadn't. Statues of people that were covered in dead moss and vines. Belios went to the tree and looked at it. He felt a pull, but it ended at the tree. He walked around it, noting that no one else was behind it, not like last time. Zephyr cleaned off a statue and looked at the name that was carved on it. Varkas. He remembered that name from an old tome he read. Varkas was the bard of the earth. He looked around, not realizing that each statue was a bard, the first beings to walk the world, the ones who created the lesser gods. Zephyr noticed that each statue faced the tree, the way after many years it was never once was corrupted. They were the final trial all along, Zephyr muttered as he walked to Belios, but Belios wasn't paying attention to Zephyr. He wasn't bothered by the things around him. He was looking back on his memories, the happy ones he had with Nikolai, the ones with light, the silly little arguments. The final trial is here, Belios. You almost finished the last time you were here. Now you must do it again. Just don't go full musical. This is a Google Doc. Zephyr said, as he made the broken spear he always carried around form a violin and handed it to Belios. I can't be here for the rest of your trial. Just come home for her, Zephyr said before he walked back to the portal and went through it, closing and going about his business. Belios held the violin in his hand for a moment. Then he heard notes from the statues around. He closed his eyes, feeling his eyes note each memory they brought to his mind, the reason he wanted to ascend. Gods can bring back the dead. He opened his eyes, and they were now glowing green. He began playing along with the note he heard, adding his own, the song making memories flash into his head. Light and Belios, the way they did everything like siblings, the way Light took care of him, and the way he tried to take care of her. His eyes began to shift to a red, as he remembered more, then to purple. Tears streamed down his face as he played the violin, and he began dancing as if he were in a ballroom. Mist and vines began wrapping around his body, forming a suit, a black tux with green design of vines, an outfit he would have worn at a ball on Finda. A shadow figure appeared. It was Light. They both danced to the sound of his violin. A real smile formed on his face. He continued, and he began to sing the song. Sleep now, my sister, in silver and gold. Wrapped in the starlight, the heavens unfold. The moon opens pathways where only you roam, guided by whispers that lead your soul home. Drift through the sky on wings made of light. Glide on the wing where the spirits take flight. Though you're beyond where my hands can reach, your name still glows in the night like a spell I keep. I hear you in soft storms, in branches that sway, in flowers that bloom when the dusk melts today. When I call upward, the cosmos replies. Your laughter rings faintly across the sky. Drift through the stars, my sister, my own. Magic surrounds you wherever you've flown, and when the night comes to carry me, I'll follow the light of the spell you left for me. As he sang, the tree began to glow, the violet leaves glowing brighter. I'm sorry, my sister, forgive me, or not, I would understand, he said, and he felt as if his heart had shattered. He continued dancing around with the shadow figure until he finished, and the shadow figure faded, floating into the sky before shifting into a dragon and flying into the sun. He stopped playing as he reached his hand up to the sun. His hand sank back down to his chest. Before his hand glowed, he pulled his hand away from his chest, feeling the weight of his corruption fade. In his hand was an orb shifting colors of black, red, and green. He then made the orb turn into a bow for the violin, and began playing again. He faced the tree, tears still streaming down his face, and each stroke of the bow sent a wave of energy at the tree, leaving dents in it. He began walking towards the tree, and the statues began to groan and break as the tree was being harmed, as if coming alive to protect it, but Belios didn't care. By the time he reached the tree, the dents had formed a sigil. Belios dropped the violin, making the bow shift into a dagger. He sliced open the palm of his hand and placed it in the middle of the sigil. The moment his blood touched it, it began to glow brightly. But his hand was ripped off of the tree as he was thrown back to the ground. The Bard of Earth had awoken first, having a guitar that was an axe. The bards didn't fight like normal barbarians. They used musical waves to attack. By the time Belios got to his feet and had his violin in hand, the other bards had woken and stood next to the Earth Bard. Belios was ready to attack when the Water Bard sent a wave at him. He managed to dodge, turning the violin into a spear, his corruption turning into the blade. He began fighting the bards, dodging most attacks, but these were gods, and he was just some dumb, depressed mortal. What could he really do? He just needed to finish the spell. Hours had gone by. He was bloodied from his own blood. The bard's only one was down, but not because of Belios, but because he got bored. The others were having fun beating the mortal, but that didn't stop him. He continued fighting like hell when a wave hit him in his leg, slicing it off. He fell to the ground. He tried crawling to the tree. But Belios didn't make it far when a bard stood over him and grabbed his right arm, tearing it clean off, roots and everything. Belios yelled in pain. Then he was kicked into the willow tree, his blood seeping into the soil. He left out the final sentence. "Bring back my sister. That's all I need. Take my life for hers." Belios muttered into the ground. The tree glowed brighter, but then his vision went black. Damn, rip Belios. Maybe for real this time. Oh, we have a frog video. Let's go. A surprise visitor. Mentions of violence, simulated PTSD, and flashbacks. Oh, he's in a coma. Okay. Yeah. Rip Belios, like how they ripped his arms off is crazy.
Frog! Oh my god, what the hell?
Let's go.
Alright, here we go.
Frog! Oh my god.
Oh, there's the new music! Let's go!
Oh, I got a letter. From Lux?
Oh, hold on, maybe I should read this. Dear Frog, I apologize the judicial branch failed in your protection. We will never fully understand the injustices you experience, but we will fight to keep you and the rest of Solace safe in the future. I understand the incidents at your home may have caused you to no longer wish to reside there. If at any time you need a different place to rest, please feel free to stay at the hotel outside of the Keepers of Solace. The hotel key is attached to your essence and will only open to you. Please let me know if you need to talk about what has occurred. Judge Lux Slayers. Lux, my goat! Bagel! Belios would make a good biomass source for the scarabs! We are not feeding people to the scarabs! I know you'd like that. You're just gonna get thrown in jail for longer. Oh, I gotta talk to Virgil about that. Marcelo beat V Magos needs to happen.
For a hotel. Rin, elk, I'm home. So silly frog thinking. Freya can help you. She won't. Okay, guys, did you? Never mind. Come on. Let's go. I don't want to be here anymore. All right, this looks good. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, this is nice. Oh, wow. Am I the only one that's staying here?
make a version that you can loop. Sorry, Frog. I'll
I
get
like
that
this
for
one.
you.
Okay, I'm gonna pick this one. This one seems nice.
Bark, bark.
I still have this light that Luminoth gave me. I hope they're okay. Good morning, guys.
They're not okay.
I'm gonna go get something to eat. Okay, I will, I promise. Oh, this kitchen
This
seems
hotel's
cool.
really nice. I haven't been here yet.
This kitchen's huge, actually. Okay, sweetbread and enlightenment cookies.
Not the Enlightenment cookies.
Okay. Is there anything else I can eat? Why is the only thing they have is a steak? I don't eat steak. The bread looks stale. I don't know. Oh my god, you scared me.
Hey,
What are you doing?
how are you?
Out there.
Oh, I guess this is a little creepy. My bad. I noticed you, so I wanted to check in on you.
I'm doing good. How about you? Do you want to come inside?
That would be amazing. I feel like a creep out here, actually.
Okay.
A steak?
Yeah. Oh. There you go.
I've never seen this place before. Are you like staying here now? Or
Yeah, I'm staying here for just a little bit.
okay. Well, this seems safer given the iron door and whatever is going on.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Apparently, I'm the only one that has a key for it.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Good. I want you. You need to be safe.
I went to go look for some food in the kitchen, but they only had steak. And I don't eat steak.
Ooh. Yes.
Do you have anything
Well,
that I can eat?
not on me, but at my house, I grow a lot of sweet berries around because of my rats. I feed them to them. So if you wanted to come, I do.
Okay, yeah. Let's go together.
Okay. Ta-da! It's grown a little bit since you've been here last.
Yeah, you have a garden now.
Yeah, I've taken up gardening a little bit. Some berries.
Oh, it. Can I? Ow, ow.
Oh, yeah, be careful. Here, I'll get it. I'll get it.
Oh.
It's okay.
Alright, that's nice.
This is my little garden. Thanks. I'm working on it slowly. It's like my little sanctuary. You can come here anytime if you want. I don't think Violence knows anywhere where it is. There's no one around for miles.
And we have that new buddy system, so we kind of need.
Yeah.
to
Oh well.
together, you know?
I don't listen to that nonsense. But come inside. Come on in.
Lucky's next.
Ignore the rug.
You
I'm
still
sorry.
have that.
It's too heavy to move.
Okay.
It's comfy. Okay. Do you want anything to drink? Anything?
What do you have to drink?
Lots of tea. I make tea.
Hey, if you say, hey, I don't listen to any of that nonsense, you know, the safety things like sticking together and, you know, not traveling like at night, blah blah blah. You're in trouble. With how she acts, it's just
Yeah.
Hey, DM me, we can make something happen.
I can get you
Damn.
water or
I would love some water. It was a long walk over here. Do you know who did this to this bear?
oh, I have no idea. This cabin was kind of like around. It's old.
Oh,
Obviously, I
okay.
haven't cleaned it very well.
It's okay.
Do you want to see something cool?
Oh, yeah.
You know, wherever Eclipse is now, which I know where she is, considering so many people have found where she is and like tried to attack her, she probably has traps and stuff set up around the area where she is. So if Lucky were to go travel alone and run into one of those traps and get hurt with no one else around. The scarab sent me to the hospital. A dangerous hospital with scarabs.
Wait, more people have a more people have a eclipses thing.
What do you mean? I'm just saying because Lucky was saying like, oh yeah, I don't care about any of that safety protocol stuff. It's nonsense. But I'm like, you know, maybe they're good things.
It could work.
Yeah. I don't know where Lucky's house is though. No more deaths. Lucky is now forced to travel with me. We'll see.
Okay, follow me.
Yeah, secret.
Oh,
Okay,
What is
I haven't shown
this?
anybody this, but this is my lab.
oh yeah.
I promise it's nothing like it's nothing
Why be a frogger? You can't even do anything.
it's nothing bad.
Uh-huh.
I'm not making something bad. But I thought
Yeah.
like if I told anybody I should tell you.
Okay, why is there a cage?
Oh, I haven't I mean I was using it. I'm not really using it anymore. There was this person who kind of landed around here a while ago, and I mean we're buddies now, but I didn't trust them and I didn't know if it was going to harm anybody on Solus, so we kind of just hung out and talked between the cage for a
How
while.
old are they? Because those are building blocks, and that's
Not a child. I just didn't know what to do. I
okay.
promise.
Okay.
This is creeping me out.
Okay, anyways. I'm working on this elixir to help with pain.
Mm-hmm.
It's not perfected yet, but with the help of my little rats, I have so far been able to lower the time it takes to heal and lower how painful it is when one is hurt. So I'm hoping to get that around Solus eventually for all the people that are in the hospital.
Okay, that's really good. Okay,
Yeah.
I feel less. Not gonna lie, seeing that cage made me.
Yeah, it's creepy. Yeah, this is
What? Scared of some cake?
it's safety precautions. Yeah, sorry.
It's fine. This is cool though.
Thank you.
Poor frog.
You have like people helping you.
I do. The person that I talked about, we're friends now, so.
Okay.
But hopefully you can meet them. They're very, very nice.
Okay.
Sorry, I kind of sprung that on you, but I want you to know, like, I want you to feel safe. So I want to tell you everything that I'm doing.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Um,
How do we
I
get
think Lucy's
out?
talking about Oliver.
oh,
What's in there?
nothing. It's like another cage, but if like
Oh.
somebody was highly sick or contaminated.
Oh. Uh-huh. Okay.
Okay, I can tell.
Lucky, why do you have the creepiest possible basement? I know this probably all has a logical explanation, but like, this is the creepiest basement ever.
You haven't seen Rando's basement.
Scaring you a little bit.
A little.
Frog's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Okay. Oh my god, don't burn yourself. Don't play
I'm
with
so
fire.
stressed out.
Not Oliver, I don't know what he's in.
Oh, don't play with fire.
Okay. Anyways, you are the first person I've told this, and I know it's probably weird and creepy right now, but I feel like it'll be the betterment of Solus, and I hope it like You can tell Feather if you want to. I trust Feather.
Magos has an even creepier basement. I don't know what you're talking about. Bagel. Magos's basement is gonna get him thrown in jail.
But
That's
I just want you to know that you can always come here if you like need somebody.
Okay.
Bro has the
Yeah,
creature.
I might bring Elk and Rin and my stuff over.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Nobody really else lives here. My friend, their name's
Someone's
Tar.
right, it was Frogwood.
They show up a lot.
Oh. Maybe.
I think they're gonna live nearby, but they're very nice. They wouldn't harm anybody.
Probably.
Half a creature is crazy.
Okay, that's nice.
Okay. Would you like me to walk you home, the buddy system and all?
Yeah.
I thought that was nonsense, Lucky.
Let's go.
Okay. Well, I guess I should let you go. I'll be alright walking home. So.
Oh. I just realized.
It'll be okay.
Sure.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Okay. Thank you.
Be safe. I really care about you. So.
Oh, I care about you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Alright, who wants to, like, mug Lucky on the way home after that? Violence? Where are you? That's where he is! Oh my god.
Wait! How'd
Hey.
you get in here?
I kind of just walked in.
Damn.
How else would you get into a building?
It's
Definitely not
locked.
the way I went.
It's
Hmm?
locked.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I broke your door on accident.
Is that why the door handle was so like jiggly?
Anyways, so
Use Frog. Please tell me Frog has a comms device. Immediate button, call Freya button, right there. Poof. She's got it. I should probably tell this to more people, but like, you can literally just, cause she has her device that you can send your location to Freya and she will just boom teleport. Panic button, exactly. Unfortunately, Frog is stupid. I just need,
we're
needs to
kinda
like a
aware about
decimal
that.
meter on her comms device. Like the scream will just instantly
Every
make
single
Freya
time
teleport.
Frog screams, it just yes,
Yeah.
that would be so funny.
Oh my god.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
What happened at the Windsor Ball?
Well, apparently someone brought an explosive, or gave an explosive to somebody, and it exploded. What? Guys.
Dogs are
You
just
look,
sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like those guys, a little bit.
Yeah, I've noticed.
What's going on?
Oh, I wonder.
You look more like a smudge now than a frog.
Really?
Really?
The way you said really there killed me.
Really?
Really?
Really? But did y'all figure out who it was?
People think that it was Eclipse.
Are you sure it wasn't me?
I don't think you would do something like that.
Yeah, no, I
He
would.
would totally do something like that.
And considering that a really good friend of mine kind of turned into a tree all of a sudden, what's up with that?
Yeah, Light just, she gave me a book about it, or like a note about it.
Gave you a book?
Yeah, a few days before she...
Check art CC cooked. Alright, hold on. Oh my god, it's Yelena! Oh wait, you guys can't see
Yeah,
me.
that's almost as, I was like excited.
Oh, now I need to full on commission you for art. Oh, it's incredible. Oh, she's perfect. Okay, sorry. Back to the video. It's peak.
Like to the boss.
How did you do that so fast? How did you do that so fast? That was like 30 minutes. Oh.
Wait, so did she know that this was gonna happen?
She had a feeling something bad would happen, but didn't know when.
Just kidding,
or
sorry, but I ate that thing. Yeah. Really?
who would die.
And turns out that she was one of them, along with BW, I would like to say.
Yeah.
That also is pretty tragic news, considering that I taught him how to... I taught him how to...
Yeah, there's no way. Why is anyone still friends with Violence? Violence has done so much worse shit than Okul. Okay, well, the execution thing was pretty bad, but like bringing multiple people down into his basement and torturing them, and then people are just like, yeah, whatever. Waters didn't immediately like kill Violence. Okay, 2 people here. Violence stole Frog and tortured her for like 4 days. Including like burning off her frog skin, which like lets her turn into a frog or whatever in front of her. And then stole Comet and boiled them alive.
I just want to say Light's only viewing Violence as a friend because she believes she can help him to change.
Girl, you cannot change him. It never works that way.
She can try.
Also, Bagel, you are not getting out of the creature in the basement situation. Maybe we should focus on Violence and Okul more than Magos.
Okul more than Magos.
You are getting... Hey, Marcelo probably has... I mean, other than what Freya has said to him, he hasn't heard anything about, like, what's been going on with Violence. He just knows Mira was upset about this thing in the basement. He's gotta go take care of that. Waters doesn't know half the shit Violence has done because 1, kidnapped and being tortured at the same time as Frog, and 2, doesn't really know Comet and hasn't been told about that. I feel like there might be some thing from the judicial branch that went out to all the other leaders and be like, hey, just so you know, this is what's going on. He's not just a little guy. Oh my god.
The stock people, funny enough.
Oh.
Right?
The lore stuff with Violence is some of the darkest shit I've ever seen made on the SMP. I had trouble reading some of that.
Respectfully, Violence, I don't think you're gonna like get like your character out of that before like he like either gets imprisoned for life or he has like some kind of like death. Respectfully.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, wow.
Oh no.
He's really good at it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Ah, I'm so proud of him. You don't have to be scared. Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
you
I came in here. I came in here to check up on you to see if you were doing all right after everything.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You're sorry?
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have.
Bro, sorry does not even start. Sorry does not begin to that he's sorry. I'm pissed. Dude, I'm so pissed. Sorry does not even begin to cover what Violence should be saying and doing. He should turn himself in immediately.
Yes, Freya, crush out, Freya.
He should turn himself in immediately. Admit full guilt of both accounts. and
Why do you have a disco hammer
never
thing?
speak to anyone again.
Oh, that's what Freya got for a white elephant this year Christmas.
That's my Crash Out disco ball.
It's your happy ball. You have two balls to make you happy.
Nah. Here we go.
I've done what I did to any of y'all. I don't want to do what I've been doing anymore. Like, you used to be like my go-to friend, and then all of a sudden I had you locked in a cage, and I burned your skin.
Why are you? Why? Hold on. Why are you acting like this? You're the victim here. Why are you acting like you're the victim here? You are like, oh, it's like you were my friend, and then all of a sudden, I was torturing you. Don't do that. You're not her friend, dude. Friends don't do that. You deserve to be in prison for the rest of your life. You deserve to be dismantled and have your wig burned like you burned Frog's skin.
Become bald, Violence. That's your
Become bald. Cece, don't start with this.
Out of rage.
This is reminding me of my toxic exes right here.
I know.
I had an ex that would like be really mean to me and then start crying because he's like, I was so mean to you. Oh, I'm sad about it now. Comfort me. This is what that shit is.
Oh my god.
This is what that shit is.
It's okay.
And now you're turning into a dog.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, after the lore we'll watch the video. The remind me about that. Do not let me forget because I will forget.
Yeah. I'm not mad about that anymore.
Hold on. Play that back.
Yeah.
I'm about to yell at Frog.
I'm not mad about that anymore.
Freya, try not pause the video to beef with Violence. Impossible.
Hello.
Frog's saying that she's lying. Frog's saying that she's lying.
You better be lying. You'd better be lying. Okay, you know, self-defense. Get him out of there. You know, that's fair. You don't want to confront him? Don't get him more pissed off? I get it. I'm watching you, but I get it.
Much.
Right.
Would you like to go to the funeral for Light?
I would love to, but I would probably be taken away.
I can make an announcement in the beginning or something. On the invitation it says that anyone can go.
I'm aware.
And-
I've seen it. Someone dropped it on accident and I picked it up.
Oh.
I'm aware of what it says. It's just people who despise me are gonna be there, especially friends of Comets.
What did you do to Comet, other than what I remember?
It's not important.
Okay.
Just know they're somewhere. I think maybe. I mean, last time I saw them, I slit their throat, but that's about it.
Oh! Oh!
They ran out. They were alive.
Okay. Why would
Right.
you do that?
I was mad. Same reason why I did everything to you.
Is just anger the only reason why you're doing this?
Well, pretty much, yeah. That and just
Oh.
the justice system of the whole thing. I want to prove to people that nothing is happening, nothing is getting resolved, and unfortunately, you're the one of the poor individuals that had to be part of that.
Bro is saying this as if he's letting someone go during like a job. Like, sorry, I'm so sorry. You know, just the economy's bad, and we have to let you go. Unfortunately, you're one of the individuals that was selected to be laid off. Dude, you burned her skin!
Statement.
Well, it worked.
All I know is that there's a curfew and a mandatory buddy system. That's all I know that's happening.
Yep.
What's that gonna do for anyone?
I don't know.
Twilight funeral, right?
Yeah, gonna be
When is that?
on the 20th in 2 days.
Saturday?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll try to make it.
6 p.m.
I am the older sister, and I will scold you when you do something wrong.
7? Around 6 or 7? Yeah, I'll
Did
try
you
to
say
make
6, 7?
it.
6 p.m.
6, 7?
No,
Yeah,
we're going
let's
back.
see.
We gotta keep going. We gotta keep this going.
Around 6 or 7 p.m.?
6
got a
p.m. Okay, don't give yourself a concussion now.
I can't do that. I'm a robot.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my bad. I forget.
Alright. Well, it was nice talking to you.
Uh-huh.
Glad to see that you're okay and, you know, look like a smudge now.
Okay. Would you like a sweet
Okay.
berry?
I'm okay.
Okay, bye-bye. I'm kinda scared to move. Okay.
Ignore the rug.
Okay.
Ignore the
Oh. Ship crash. I don't.
Oh my god, I forgot I said that. I'm so sorry.
You guys get...
I'm right behind you.
What? Yeah, I'm gonna show y'all. Horse life! Hold on, horse life!
horse life. All right, that had me going. This picture of Yelena heals me. Play some beautiful choir music for me, please.
No. God damn it.
This is beautiful chorus now playing on Spotify.
This is.
I thought Beef could heal you respectfully.
Summon the beef. Beef shall heal you.
It's true. Beef! Come here, beef. Beef! Why does I can't beef?
The voice crack. Oh
Come
my
here,
god.
beef.
You sound like an old grandma calling for their old cat.
Beef! It's because I can't. Beef. 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 Come here. Come here, beef. Don't listen to my voice crack.
I'm listening.
Okay, she's not coming over. I think she's probably asleep in the bed. Ah, but I love this so much. I'm making that my profile picture in the RPG server. Alright, back
Hell
to
yeah.
Lord Tuesday. Where were we?
RPG server.
Look at art after reading to have context. Okay. The only resting place.
Can I read this?
Yeah.
As well? Okay, thank you. Alright. This is where I stop, is it? Through dirt and gravel, through stone and oars, through caves I clawed the floors of, begging to not go further. The only thing I can rest upon is the center, the core of the planet. A star, a thriving variant of the reason I do not have an origin point anymore, a birthplace. Blinding at first, but my sight grew used to it. After all, I have nothing left for it to burn. I could sleep if I wanted to. I could sit if I needed to. I could lay if I desired to. It reminds me of space, staring upwards at the vast expanse of dense ground, the caves being asteroids, constellations, the silence stretching on. If a noise was made, it would cause concern. To sit or to jump would expose me to the heat or the frost that are the barriers of this field, warmth below and cold above. I wonder how long it has been now. I wonder if Light had had her funeral yet. I wonder if Waters or Balios conducted it. Possibly even Frog.
You're
I wonder if
fine.
Eclipse has killed another. Maybe
Yeah.
she was the one who blew up the ball. I wonder if Oko had made any more moves. Maybe she's looking for Arcana.
Mika.
Or Arcana is looking for her.
Mika, mute.
I wonder where...
Sorry, continue, CJ.
It's okay. I wonder where Froggy is. I have not seen her in a long while. Maybe she may have found somewhere safe, where she can be happy. I wonder if anyone has looked for me. I wonder if Kron is being taken care of. They deserve someone more reliable than I am. Maybe Starry is looking after them. Maybe Zinnia. Maybe Sam. Anyone would be better. Others would agree, especially if they knew what I had done when I first met Kron. When I found out whose face they wore without knowledge of it. I should have tried harder. I should have found a safe way to leave. Safe place to stay, away from Solace. For Kron. For whoever wanted it. Maybe Echo is right. If everyone is the same, there would be no more pain. Maybe more so Miraju, with his belief of everyone being dead, meaning peace. No clones. Everything would come back eventually. A fresh slate. I do not think I get the privilege yet. I thought about what would happen if we reversed the Great Anomaly. The people on my planet would return and choke to death in space. I find myself imagining what it would look like. Those disrespectful, destined to die again. A more fitting death this time. Their eyes bulging from their sockets, their faces turning blue, their screams and squawks swallowed by space, their bodies flailing pathetically until finally falling still. It brings a sick enjoyment to my mind. I am uncertain if it is entirely my own. But children, animals, babies. It has been 6 years. No one deserves to come back, especially those innocent to come back to that. I will figure it out. I have to go up soon. I need to. I'm not going to be buried until everything goes away. Not again. I am not a puppet anymore.
What's sad to me is that, like, Freya would be able to, is like one of the only people who would be able to actually go search for Croy underground and near the core, but she's like the only person who can't see him ever.
Yeah. Yeah. Croy's steps were slow and almost dazed in movement, with no path in mind. Not like there was one to follow down here. If anyone was watching him, if anyone was there with him, they'd think he was gliding. Ice skating on a ball of fire and gas that shimmered and shifted its colors from deep reds through brightening oranges and yellows to a blinding white, then back again. Oh, how dark it would be for the ghost when he returned to the above. Even gazing upwards now, he could barely see the caves that were his temporary constellations. He hoped it would fade over time. He liked the planet's surface, hellish the people could be. They can do both awful and beautiful things to the world, yet it will always remain. Though something stronger than itself and the creatures upon it decides it shouldn't. He turned slowly while his movements continued, head turned upwards to gaze above, moving backwards. His hand reached upwards, fingers having finally found their shape, grazing the cold air through the invisible barrier he wandered within. His body had almost found its original form by now. It took a lot less time than when his arm was just a mass of something. Tar is the best thing he could call it. Ghostly essence sounded too fancy for what it actually was, and goo just sounded weird.
He used his goo. Sorry.
I can't. I'm sorry. Hold on. I said it because
broken, Freya.
I wrote that down because of that fucking thing.
See,
And I
see,
didn't
you
know.
goo mention.
You just had to say something.
Okay.
Okay. The ghost let out a soft breath through his nose, allowing his hand to fall gently back from the air, fingers resting on his chest above the gaping void. That is when something caught his attention. A figure in the distance, sticking out like a sore thumb with their silhouetted form, almost as if someone outlined a person upon a black paper in gold. That was an all. They wore a gown, one that reached the star's surface below them, a medium-length train of the skirt curving to curl around one side, where their feet were hidden beneath the rest of the dress. They appeared to have half a mask covering the right side of their face, the eye on the left outlined in a green. Antlers protruded from their head around a headband with 2 feathers sticking out. Held in their 2 hands was an old-style microphone, also outlined like their frame. It was a woman Croy knew. Croy took a few steps closer, a faint humming meeting their ears. It was a song he knew well, one he had memorized, one he used to sing. He began to hum along with it, slowly coming up to stand beside the woman he knew. In return, the woman stopped singing, her voice echoing softly into the abyss before her attention seemed to turn to him. For a long moment, they both just stared at each other. Croy remembered the performances and the gowns, the songs that be memorized, the dances and acts that would be practiced. He remembered the makeup, the hairdos. He remembered the different audiences every night. Seeing this woman, Belle, brought all that back to him. The feeling of it all brought a strange sense of nostalgia. Belle slowly took Croy's hand and began to move, the ghost allowing the woman to lead him along with no issue. Part of him felt it as if this was another hallucination, that he would come to his senses and find himself being slowly burned within the very core he moved across now. But a small part of him believed it, and so he allowed it to continue. Delusions or not, he would let it play. Soon, in the distance, came another figure, this time pacing back and forth with sharp turns and measured steps. Their back was held up straight, their arms stiffly swinging forward and back, their knees bent, their knees up high before stomping against the core surface with no noise at all.
Sorry.
No, he's marching.
Oh. Sorry, I won't interrupt anymore.
Freya, you are so unbelievably brain rotted. It concerns me.
Okay. Their back was straight, arms stiffly swinging back and forward, and their knees held up high.
No.
They're hitting the gritty.
This is okay. Okay, right. Okay,
Muting
moving
myself,
on.
muting myself.
Please do. Okay. Like Belle, this figure was outlined in gold, antlers protruding from their head, and this time ears visible on either side of their head. The right side of their face was visible, their eye on that side being fully red, with faint lines peeking out from underneath it, and from over the eyelid, with faint lines peeking out from underneath it and from over the eyelid. The other outlined in the same green. The clothes were crisp and general-esque. 2 medals pinned to the uniform above their heart where their heart would be, and shoulder pads with tassels dangling from them. Hooves peeked out from their trouser legs, just about visible under the cuffs. The final thing that stood out was the lumpy band secured around their neck, a blinking red light on it flashing occasionally. Corey's jaw instinctively tightened at the sight of that filthy thing. Belle let go of Corey's hand upon pausing a few feet from the marching figure, coming up to walk alongside them, microphone passed to one hand held behind her back. The other figure eventually noticed her and stopped, then noticed Corey not too far behind the silhouetted woman. And not a moment later, Corey was blocking punches with his forearms posed in front of his face, with throwing a few of his own to the silhouetted figure that reacting the same way. This continued on, switching positions, different defenses and attacks, but each time one person does one thing, the other copies after. Whether it be a kick, a block, a punch, anything. It all stopped when both the ghost and the silhouette straightened up, left arms extending, left hands posed into a finger gun. The finger gun aimed right at each other's right eyes. We both stood there for a long moment, staring in silence, Corey being the only one breathing. It had become an instinctive thing at this point, something that came naturally despite not needing it anymore. The silhouetted figure, Makdara, trained like a guard dog, treated like a runt. They were one who had been around the longest. Corey remembered it. Makdara lowered their arm, Corey also doing the same, both slow and cautious. Then Makdara stepped back to stand beside Belle, their faces so similar. Everything hauntingly the same, reminding, yet comforting, reassuring, strangely enough.
That was really cool. I liked the visuals. Yo, we get art?
Yep.
Yo, wait, I feel like I've seen the character on the right before. Have you drawn
Have
them
you?
before? I don't know. Maybe
I
not.
believe so.
This is sick. Oh, and the little caves in the background, that's so cool. Fire. No pun intended. Alright, from Siles. A few things to know before. There's violence, there is cursing. Did you say something, CJ?
No, I was just saying that's my friend.
Oh. Let's go. The Ball Sentinel's POV. It had been a while since Sentinel stepped out of his home, but he just knew he couldn't miss this event. It sounded like too much fun, and hey, who knows, maybe it'll help him ignore the pain. Oh, how wrong he was! There was a ton of people, but he didn't mind social things. Social things never bothered him. Something he didn't understand was why so many people were moving so strangely. He had the feeling like he knew what they were doing, but he didn't know why, so he just decided to go to the bar and order a drink while he spectated. Everyone had such interesting outfits, it honestly made him feel a little plain. Then again, all he had was a homemade tux and his armor, and he thinks the tux fit a little bit better in a ball. For a while, he just continued to watch people move, while also trying to remember where he had seen it before. He gave up on that eventually, though, and focused his attention on the guests a little, before recognizing one. A person wearing gray trousers, a nice shirt, a reddish-brown trench coat, but most notably, a white and black mask. Sentinel didn't recognize them from this, though, but the feeling he got. He just knew he had seen them before. He was going to walk over before his sense of vision flooded with red, and his sense of hearing flooded with a loud bang and screams. Sentinel, still dazed, stood up and looked around, but all he could hear and see was screams and fire. What the hell happened? Then he looked down at himself and found his suit in tatters, but not only that, but shit, my cloak. His cloak, if you could even call it that anymore, was nothing less than a piece of fabric shoved underneath his shoulder plate. His arm was open to the world to see. Fuck, I have to get out of here. He moved to run, but he was frozen in place because the thought of leaving at a time like this disgusted him. This is not how you get people to like you. But another part of him told him that people wouldn't like him if they found out he was a monster. Fuck. He knew he couldn't help with his strength, but he also knew that he was dazed, and that's why his senses were still behind. Because he knew once they caught up. Then he caught the first sniff of it. The pain smelt great. His right arm started to itch horribly, the worst it had itched in forever. Sentinel was starting to grin, but that's when he snapped out of it for a second and bolted. He knew it was the right option now, because there is no helping anyone when all your instincts are telling you to make the pain last longer. He got very far in a short amount of time, and he was pretty certain no one saw him, but he was so angry at himself for running he began to cry. He hunched over, clenching his stomach while still crying. Not a single tear dropped, but the weeping was loud. birds flew away from all the noise. The weeping felt like it lasted hours until his body started growing muscles from the uncloaked arm, and soon after his armor grew back, and once that happened, the weeping started to turn into hysterical laughter. While he laughed, he grew in size and his armor began to look like flesh. Then suddenly the laughing stopped. The quiet felt like it stretched on for days, but it only lasted a few seconds, until there was a loud fleshy rip that filled the air. Sentinel, now twice in size with veins pulsing all over his body. He grinned as he smelt the pain all the way over here. He thought to himself, if I hurry, then I can make this meal last a while. Then without hesitation, he roared and ran on all fours. He moved unnaturally fast, smashing through the trees if they got in his way. He had no thoughts other than the one to make the pain last longer no matter the cost. But that's when he felt it, a scream for help that no one could hear. He smelt the pain of abandonment, he tasted the pain of anger, and he felt the pain of fear. This was like an ambrosia to him, so much pain in one creature, but then it stopped, and with it, he stopped. He asked how could a creature endure so much? Then the crying began again. He remembered what happened, and he screamed in frustration as he finally got control of himself. He forced the instincts to stop, and he could finally think straight. As he cried, he shrank, and then he started screaming in anger. In a rage against himself, he tore off his right arm, making a bone-curdling snap as it came off. His right arm twitched a few times on the floor. It was still large in size and was covered in veins. The spot where his right arm used to be did not bleed at all, but what was left was torn skin and hanging muscles. Sentinel knew that he wouldn't stay the same for long if it never did. He had stopped crying at this point. He was just kneeling on the grass. It was hot in his helmet, so he grabbed it by one of the horns with his left arm and tore it off as muscles on his neck exploded with its separation. All that was left was his normal bony neck and skull. He had thrown the helmet, but he turned to look at it, and he was greeted by the same horrific sight, a large toothy smile on the helmet. He kneeled there till it was morning. Oh, he tried to feed off of Croy. I thought that might be...
Yeah,
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, the most pain from one creature. He asked if he could do that, and I was like, hell fucking yeah.
That's so sad. Poor Croy.
Yeah, he was abandoned, and a few people heard him, but like no one could really do anything realistically.
From Feather, something fun to counter the angst. I want to host a movie night with this movie.
Wait, don't you want to, Doctor? No, I want to kill her. I want to put Aaliyah in chains and march her through the mine so everyone can see her for the false prophet that she is. I want her to suffer and then to die in darkness. We all know it doesn't matter what I want, right? Serious? Fact is, we're all mindless entities, right? We had limited options and now we have none.
I love all the... I don't know if anyone else saw the voice-acted memes that Myth did of like Waters and Cyros and everything. And Elia. They're all great. And this, it being visualized... Cam... the expression on Cam's freaking Minecraft skin is so funny. New lore from Bacon. Day 173. I am back and I feel stronger than ever. After the whole poison gas thing, I migrated back to my cave, where I've been resting since I didn't want to be a bother for the hospital staff. My neck has seemed to heal and I'm back on my feet again. I wonder what I'll have missed. I'll have to talk to a few people to get information. I'll probably have to revive the pure spirits, which will take a lot of time and effort, but I'll do my best. I would also like to speak to Okul if she's alive. Oh, Okul's... Well, I mean, I guess... If it was the poison gas thing, wasn't that at the... That was during the like, Halloween thingy? Yeah, you know what Okul's been up to. Why do you want to talk to Okul?
Because Philip has had beef with her ever since the pure spirits and what the HOE had a bit of beef.
I see.
Then they got over that, and then Bacon that Philip still wants to talk with her. You know, that'll be interesting.
Yes. Good luck finding Okul. That's the first thing.
Yeah, have fun.
From Oliver. Happy... Oh yeah, this is the Remembrance Day stuff. We haven't had the event yet. That's gonna be this... one of these days. Let me look at the events here. On January 1st.
I think it's Thursday.
Yeah.
Never mind.
It would be Thursday. Alright. Happy Anomaly Remembrance Day. Lovely Pharos, one day I will see you again. In hopes that you are still among the living somewhere, I will find you someday. In knowing that you are not, I hope your dreams are beautiful and your wings help you fly amongst the sky's oceans. Aww. That's so sad. Get ready for more sad. Here's Marcello's Great Anomaly Remembrance Day. AKA, I am forcing Virgil to write more. Winter on any planet is cold, but Solace has a special kind of winter. The winds are gentle here, so the cold just lingers in the air. The rustling of gravel beneath my feet was the only sound I could hear that night. Many creatures were already hibernating. There was a calming snow falling that night. Freya was with me, and she had brought 2 lanterns. One for Remembrance Day and one for Amelia. This trip up the mountain isn't very long, but it always feels like an eternity. Freya and I made it to the grave site for my crew, and I took a seat on the bench under the oak tree. I pulled out a granola bar from my pack and took a few bites. Can I have the lantern for Amelia? I asked Freya, still chewing on my food. Freya handed me the small metal lantern. It was the same kind she had made for the others. I removed a laser cutter from my pack and etched the name on the lantern, Amelia Reed. The sun had just set, so there was a dim orange-pink glow in the sky, and I lit the wick inside the lantern. I sat the lantern in front of Amelia's gravestone and began lighting the other lanterns for my crew. I still remember the day I met them all. The Arcturus was a brand new ship back then, and my crew was anxious to get to work. The concourse of my ship was bustling with activity, with everyone moving their belongings on board, and repair teams still running through all their final checks. Before we set off, I called everyone to the mess hall to celebrate our ship's maiden voyage. It seemed like I had only just met them when the anomaly went off. Not even a month into our mission, and I had to deal with almost my entire crew vanishing. If it wasn't for Freya, I'm not sure how long we would have survived. I'd wanted to be a captain since I was young, and I'd finally achieved my goal after so many years. Then in an instant, it was gone. Freya must have noticed me getting lost in thought, because I felt her hand on my shoulder. It's time for the other lantern, she said softly. Right, I'll light it, I replied, taking the lantern from her hand. I looked down into the valley and saw the other lanterns light up. I lit ours and stood patiently awaiting the release. The first lantern flew, then the next. I let ours go too. The sky filled up with the lanterns in remembrance of the fallen. I tried to picture the faces of my crew as the lantern leapt up into the clouds. The thing I feel the worst about is that as I try to picture each face, I can't remember what they all look like. I'm sorry to all of you. I wish I could give you the memories you deserve. I hope it's enough that I remember your names. That last part
Wait,
killed me
real
every
quick.
time.
Check art.
The what?
Check art.
Check art?
Check art.
More Yelena.
Really? Ah! Yes! Yes!
Cece, you are feeding her.
This is the disco ball of someone true Yelena! CC Art Disco Ball!
Cece, you are feeding
Aw,
us.
pinned by Mika.
You're
Why did you
so-
pin your own message? Oh, this is fire. I can't wait to show Virgil these. He's been playing this train game with Fluffy that he's been waiting for all week. All day, like, from like 10 in the morning until now. It's been like 12 hours. Oh, she's beautiful. I need to pay you. I need to commission you. All right. The 6th entry, Remembrance Day. Remembrance is a terrible thing. I attended this event out of nostalgia, but it only brings me pain. The longer I stayed, the more it hurt, just as it did when I arrived at Riverside and found my old mercenary gear. When I put it on, I saw my reflection in the river and barely even looked like who I once was. It hurt, and the longer I was at the event, the more it hurt. The more I remembered, the more I regretted that the anomaly took my group away. The group I built with only the people I was closest to. Only the people I could trust with everything. The people that I got to know over years as a mercenary. Those people left behind their previous groups to join me, but they all disappeared before my own eyes. The anomaly took all 5 of them. It left me with nothing, and because of it, I even lost my arm. So when the pain became too much after releasing the lanterns, I left the event. I couldn't stand being there any longer. I couldn't face them. I could never face them, because in the end, I left them behind. I even started to forget them, the ones who were willing to leave behind their previous lives for me. This event is just pure angst. I love it. Also, there will be an eclipse log from this day. I just haven't. I didn't, because the power was off. I wasn't able to edit it and stuff. So I'll see if I can get it out tonight, or maybe I'll do it right after the actual event that we have on the 1st. Happy Anomaly Remember. This is lucky. Happy Anomaly Remembrance Day, a new tradition that I wish did not have to happen. I do miss you dearly, but I know you'd be proud of me and how much I've grown. I just wish I could share these memories with you. You'd like my friends. Some ogre fella named Rotwood reminds me of you a bit. Well, kind of. He's not like you. He's a pain, but nice to have around, I guess. So far, I believe I've written 54 notes to you. Silly that this continues, even when I know they'll never reach you. You were everything. Love, Lucky. Oh, the notes that will never get there. And then we have Dahlia thing. Those of you who are in the What If server, I love Dahlia. I miss Dahlia. What remains of Dahlia Songcliffe? In an event that took away billions, who will remember her? Who will remember the pride and joy of Creteri? Sorry. Who will remember how her giggles brightened the room? How she found her passion and healing? How kind she was with the younglings of the tribe? Who will remember the girl who sacrificed herself for the greater good of the planet by enlisting in the Soul Pack Navy? Who will remember how she lied on the enlistment form and said she was of age because she knew that she was only capable of carrying the burden? Will someone remember the scared little girl in the remains of the battlefield, tasked with sewing up the gaping wounds of countless civilians caught in the crossfire? Who will remember how she worked tirelessly, climbing the ranks, throwing herself into training and schooling until she graduated? How every night she secretly worked on researching a cure for her comatose little sister, who was struck by a mysterious illness? How did her family feel when they received a message from her, excited that she was assigned to be a junior medic on the SPNS Arcturus, helping out rim planets just like hers? How she met her coworkers and felt at home. How she excitedly said that there was a breakthrough on the horizon. She was close, she said. Her people soon wouldn't have to suffer anymore. She felt it. How would they react if they knew that that would be the last message from their little girl? She chose the 21st of December to celebrate her birthday. It was the winter solstice on Earth, a place she so admired. The longest night of the year. A time for reflection and staying close with your loved ones. It's a night of community. It's a night of celebrating that the worst is over and that there are better days to come. When the universe disappeared, there were streamers and balloons through the halls. A cake in the refrigerator, a tune yet unsung for the junior medic, all prepared to celebrate what was supposed to be a joyous day filled with laughter, music, and dance. The cake sat in the fridge for at least a week until the captain finally threw it away. It took another week for someone to tear down the banners. When it happened, she was in the medbay with Yelena. The radio was playing some earthly music softly in the corner. Dahlia was humming along as she worked on restocking the bandages in the cupboard. It was a peaceful moment, one that they both worked so hard for. A moment of peace, a moment of respite after all destruction they had both seen. They fought their way up to the top. They fought for the right to be on board. Maybe Yelena had a small gift for her. They weren't close, not yet. They would never get the chance to. But maybe, just maybe, she picked up something small on the last planet they had been on in anticipation of her birthday. A small token of some kind. And maybe, just maybe, that gift sat abandoned in a drawer in her quarters for years, only disturbed when the new Arcturus crew, the ones of Solace, removed all items in anticipation of the decommissioning of the vessel, where it sits today, in a chest somewhere on the lands, forgotten. A small token of friendship never meant to be. And with the ship, the last reminder of the crew was gone. Those halls, although their time in them was short, held the ghosts of those who were lost. And what remains of her family? That tiny Ice Age planet far out of the way of the Soul Pack Navy. What remains of her research? What remains of her baby sister? Was she taken too, or does she remain comatose? And if she did survive, what about the rest of the tribe? Was the sickly baby sister left all alone in the grotto their people called home? The truth is, nobody knows. After all, when a great cataclysmic event occurs, who thinks to check in on the tiny rim planet? Dahlia was their ambassador, the one who let the universe know that they exist, that they were here, that their little corner of the universe laughed, loved, and lived just as the same as everyone else. Dear Dahlia, your life was a book filled with wonder and joy. You were knocked down several times and had every right to hold a grudge, but instead you chose kindness and understanding. But your story, not even halfway through, was cut off abruptly mid-sentence. You were robbed, my love. The people will remember Duval and Reed, Ulm and Blight, but who will remember that starry-eyed doctor from that icy and endangered Rim world? Who will remember her little baby sister who she'd promised to go out and find a cure for, becoming one of the first of her kind to set foot off their planet? Rest in peace, Dahlia Songcliffe. You may have been forgotten, but let the people feel the kindness you gave in spite of it. Dahlia, my goat. No pun intended. Here she is. And that's Yelena and Marcelo. And this is Sylvia, and I think this is supposed to be Blight.
Oh, God. I don't even know this character that well, and I'm already suffering.
Oh, don't worry. Dahlia is alive and well, in the canon of Virgil's universe, and Yelena's trying to steal her off of the Arcturus to take her on be a part of her own medical team. And I hope that I'm allowed to do that. Making me think about that one animatic. Which one?
There's many animatics. Have you seen YouTube?
Have you seen YouTube?
I'll read mine.
Okay, cool.
A young girl stared at the black hole her planet orbited, then tousled her long red hair about. She rubbed her cheek, feeling the sting from the slap her father had given her. She was trying not to cry. She had tried to tell her father what she had been sensing. He wouldn't listen. I will not listen to such cursed talk from a child like you, he had yelled. The child ran away from her father. She had hidden in the garden. Why wouldn't her dad listen to her? She wasn't cursed, right? Maybe Yukima. A deep musical voice called out from behind her, pulling the child's thoughts. She turned to face her mother. The posture went straight and rigid. Mother, The child said, trying to still her trembling hands. She wanted to stem. Felt the need to braid her hair out of nervousness. Stemming was unbecoming of a princess. That was what her father had told her so many times. Yuikima felt her mother's hands gently take hold of hers. My dear, please, tell me what you are sensing, her mother said. The child tensed up. She shook her head. Father didn't want to hear it, he said softly. Your father isn't here, Yui, her mother said softly, as she gracefully sat in the grass. Yurikima had to bite a distressed jerk down. Her mother's clothes were going to get ruined. It was going to be her fault. It always was her fault. You can speak about it here, to me. Please, my daughter, what are you sensing? Yukima hesitated a bit longer. Then she spoke. Death, she murmured. I sense death. She slowly pulled away from her mother's and started to pace. Something's going to happen. Something bad. I can tell. I just can't tell what. Oceana looked troubled. She grabbed Yurikima by the shoulders. Go to bed, little one. Getting late, she said softly. We will worry about this feeling in the morning. Yurikima stared. Then she nodded. She looked up towards the black hole. Then she looked away. Her mother released her. She retired to her room for the night. In the morning, she awoke to screams. The feeling of death choked her. Her brother was gone, leaving his spirit behind. Her mother was gone as well. Their spirits felt in pain. Of course, father blamed her. It was her fault. Light awoke from her dream, tears fully floating away from her eyes. She hadn't had that dream. That day, the anniversary to the great anomaly, she couldn't tell. The void was nothing but darkness. There were no anchors for her to tell time. It felt like months had passed. Had months passed? She wanted to go home. She wanted to be by everyone's side again. But she couldn't. She knew she couldn't. But that didn't change her wish. Mama, Dad, barely able to fall by the violence struck boy, Quan. I'm sorry. She moaned to nothing. Happy Remembrance Day. Forgive me for being unable to be there with you all.
My heart.
Suffering. Ugh.
All right, from Kron.
Hello. This is a recorder box and it blinking, so I say it working. I think it's Corey's. It's fine. Grumpy Demon fixed my mask. They used something called something. I can't remember. And it also has a meaning that I can't remember either. But not important. It's fixed and it still fits and nothing was changed a lot, so it's good. It has these cracks that are the Kurkra August Dove. Yeah, those cracks that are those colors along them, and it looks pretty. So yeah, today was like a remember day, I think. But I saw posters around it, so, and there was big lights going up into the sky somehow. I don't know how. But I was looking for Ribbit Person to thank them for giving me Miss Guide's letter. So yeah, and I didn't find them, but it's okay. I went into the hospital because I heard that the librarian was in there again. Although they're really loud, they seem nice, and I like their library. So I was gonna leave a flower in the room, but there was this guy with red horns in there, and he looked like he was sleeping. So I just left the blue flower outside room. I also wanted to see how the other people were doing after Winter Ball. The Dragon Person and Red Wings. This is her third time being in the hospital, I think. It's kind of concerning. And also the Staring Person, because they stared at me a lot. But them. I don't know if they're in there anymore, but yeah, I left flowers for them a while ago. So, yes. And that's it. No Croy. Croy not back yet. But last time he disappeared, there wasn't fire and collapsing stuff. So, and later not doing anything. So it's fine. He's just gonna be gone longer, and he promised me that he would come back. So everything's gonna be fine. So, okay, that's it. Slán.
I love Kron so much. I just need them to be happy.
I was also the other people in the hospital. I was referring to Comet and Bob for that one. Then there was Leaf, Ladice, and Feather when they were in the hospital after the ball. I did try to pronounce Ladice's name, and he's like, no, staring.
I love Kron so much. Also, Light, are you okay?
I'm good.
No,
I'm okay.
That was meant to like be a kind of happy thing because I know everything else is very depressed.
It's not from you. I started to kind of tear up at the end of my talk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I hope you're okay.
I cry
My own
when
dog got me.
Yeah, I cry sometimes, like when writing stuff for either for Freya or for like other characters or whatever. Especially thinking about like thinking about stuff that I already have planned for like the end of the like Solace's arc or whatever. I get very sad thinking about that, just about everything tying up at the end. Anyway, it just means you're invested. It's a good thing.
Also, Freya, I want to apologize now for a dog I've been writing.
Oh no.
It's very long.
Oh, it's okay. I'll read anything, even if it's very long. I just, you know, it goes to be very late. Eventually, I'll have a job that actually allows me to start streaming earlier instead of at 8 p.m. All right.
Yippee.
Carrie's lore. Small lore writing for Carrie since I've been fairly inactive making anything. All right. Curiosity killed the cat. That's what they all say. I don't agree with that. I would have died long ago if that were the case. I say this with my own mind's reassurance, because who the hell dies that way? I've grown terribly bored just sitting idle and wasting away in some dark and depressing cave. Technically, life hasn't been all too bland, but I failed to convince a funky-looking individual to follow my advice. To give myself credit, I did manage to sneak this obnoxiously quiet individual out of that local hospital. The fool didn't even know me, yet they trusted me blindly. Nothing else at all too entertaining. I can't help biding my time, though. Not when there's so much potential at hand for me. Not with so many people to go after. Ooh.
Interesting.
We got Okul lore. This is a concept written by CJ and double checked by me. It's canon now, okay? Wreaking havoc. Why are you giggling? I'm scared. Blackstone crumbled and cracked.
I'm just really excited.
Okay. I'm scared. Blackstone crumbled and cracked beneath her claws with each thundering slam, soon revealing the soft soil beneath. The brown filth stained her uniform, the gold buttons and chains becoming almost rusty in appearance. The fabric of the thick, straight jacket ripped open at the buckles, crinkled and rolled up to the elbows. Her shoulder, still healing from a failed assassination attempt on the Anathi, ached, the muscles straining against the bandages around it. Yet she pushed through, a slight growl to her heavy breathing. Okul would not fail and be spat on by the weak of this world again. Their thoughts, opinions, morality, they didn't matter to her anymore. They had their chance. She held her holy hand out to them. She promised to guide them, to teach them the ways of the one true God that would save them all. Now, handed with the opportunity of power, she would take her chance while she had it. They turned away from the glory of Divinitas, for the false goddess that created this planet. Like the serpent Freya was, this being claimed as so powerful lied to them all. As the blood from those who clung to her for protection crept up her hands and arms, she smiled and laid empty promises on silver platters before the starving, and yet they still looked to the lady as if she gifted them life and purpose. Pathetic. It made Okul's stomach churn sickeningly with fury and disgust. Her fist slammed against wood, the hollow noise making her rampage pause a moment, and, as if gentleness even mattered at this point, she reverently brushed the dirt off the pale, smooth surface of the coffin lid, eventually revealing the name plaque. Havoc Forge Mail. Okul never officially met the man. She had seen him at a few faction meetings yet, towards the beginning of it all, Havoc was a reserved man, but his words were powerful when he spoke his opinion. Okul grew to despise it. To her, it was him revealing the ego he had underneath, as if no one else was worthy of witnessing it, as if he was high and mighty. His faction was deserted. There was no power behind him. No wonder he died, alone, nonetheless. Okul reached down into her pocket, pulling out the ripped page and looking down at it, her gloved thumb smearing the dirt and grime on the yellowing paper. 2 weapons was what she was after, 2 tools used and forged from the essence of fallen gods, both of which were buried within the coffin below her feet. A vein pulsed at the side of her forehead, her thoughts growing more violent, more furious, bloodlust painting each word. How selfish of this excuse of a leader. Havoc Forge Mail hid these weapons for himself to wield, for him and him alone to bask in the glory of whatever God bestowed them upon him, clinging pathetically to the last memory of what power he used to have, the power he never deserved. He died fighting with them, yet failed and passed alone. No one should fail with such power. He was never deserving of these tools. Okul deserved them. She was worthy. She was worthy in the eyes of the great Divinitas, and that was reason enough. The eyes within her hair opened wide as she let out a bellowing roar, a grin of slight insanity stretching her face. She raised her fists high above her head before crashing them down upon the lid of the coffin, the impact sending an echoing shockwave that was swallowed by the forest's dull life. She did it again and again, her fingers curled around the edges of the cup-dented lid, reefing it off and throwing it aside carelessly. She barely gave the peaceful yet strangely preserved body of Havoc a glance before grabbing the body by the collar and dragging it out of the grave with one hand. She threw it down to the ground, watching as its heavy limbs thudded to the ground. The ram skull latched to the dead leader's head, scraping against the cobbled pathway that led to the grave. She adjusted her gloves, that grin still plastered to her face as she turned sharply to the coffin and its contents, kneeling down within the grave with slight haste. There they are. Nestled on either side of the body indent of the cushioned base of the casket were what she was looking for, what she believed she had the right to battle with. The Sword of Blight, a blade radiating power that made Okul's smile twitch at the corner with delight, her tusks sticking out further. It was a weapon that consumed a person's very soul, rotting it to charge its power. It wouldn't work on the great Lady Freya, the woman being the very essence of light and not having a soul, but if Okul were to go after those close to the planet leader... A shiver of thrill spiked up Okul's spine at the thought. The Hammer of Forges. It was smaller than Okul had anticipated, but something small could be just as deadly. It was a tool used by Havoc's very own goddess that he had dedicated himself to, Ulta, god of smithing. After the god had fallen, she bestowed the hammer onto Havoc before he had traveled to Solace. She believed that he would do good with it, and believed that her prophet was worthy. I wonder how disappointed your great goddess is in you. Her misjudgment is laughable, Okul remarked, turning her head to gaze at the limp body behind her, as if Havoc still lived and was listening, helpless to stop her. The general adjusted her sleeves before reaching a hand down into the casket beneath her, her fingers brushing against the handle of the blade first. A jolt launched up her arm, making her grimace, but the grin on her face never faltered. Her gloved, clawed hand closed tightly around the handle, slowly trying to lift it, but the sword began to tremble, feeling strangely heavy. The crooked, sharp blade seemed to straighten out and curl back in, the veiny lines of power reaching out across the whole surface pulsing, slowly getting faster the more Okul tried to pull it up. She managed to, after using both her hands, the plagued steel clanging heavily against the stone path. It behaved as if it was actually alive, shuddering and pulling itself around in Okul's fingers. It seemed like it was trying to get away from her, always moving in the direction of Havoc's dead body. This made her grin falter, patience running thin. So, with a hefty swing, she slammed the sword against the headstone, watching as the stone and golden markings crumbled into a pile of rubble. Not even sparing a moment once the sword had stilled, the general yanked a long, heavy chain off of her belt, wrapping and securing it around her hand and the handle, no doubt blocking off some blood flow. The sword shuddered violently in response, but Okul merely cracked it down against the ground this time, sparks of black and red flame appearing with the action for a split second like a cursed whip. A heavy exhale left her, her fingers curling and adjusting in their forced position. Surely it'd only be temporary. The blade would behave after a few deaths, to satisfy it. Ulka returned to her knees, pushing away the chunks of headstone that had fallen on top of the open casket, revealing the hammer once more, still nestled in place against the now slightly tattered cushioning. Not a scratch on its surface. Her hand reached down to snag the handle, ready to lift it and begin her hunt. Her targets fresh in mind. She would take whatever steps necessary to achieve what she needed to do. Okana first, Freya after, Solace last. A twig snap alerted her almost immediately, the sudden noise almost a shock in the dense, silent atmosphere. She slowly retracted her grip, listening intently, body having fallen still. Finally thinking logically, she realized that her rampage on the grave was the furthest thing from stealthy and quiet. It most likely caught the attention of a passerby, or whatever resident remained in the faction, and the footsteps that drew closer only confirmed that. As much as she would have wanted to test the abilities of the sword, she needed to know exactly how to handle such a weapon without hitting herself in the process, and she wasn't too keen on being disturbed by whatever excuse of a police force this person could call if they saw her. She let out a soft growl of mild annoyance, but otherwise rose to her feet, retreating from whatever remained of the grave, stepping over Havoc's discarded body in the process. Her pace quickened as she heard the voice of the approaching person calling out another's name, seeming to assume the noise of destruction was them. She would come back for the hammer after she settled her first score. Damn! There's a lot of gravediggers on Solace. And poor Havoc. Couldn't rest in peace. That was really cool, though. Hee 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 hee. But will this actually help Okel? I remember getting a DM asking if Freya had a soul, and I was like, what does that what does that even mean?
That was Bagel, I think. He was confirming something.
Yeah. Alright, we have... I just realized I wasn't playing the music this whole time. Sorry. We have another transcript from Waters.
I started the tape recorder now.
You don't do like a mission log, entry 200, before you...
No, this isn't a mission.
That's not exactly what... never mind. So, you said you ran into Violent. How does that keep happening? Didn't you capture him?
No, I didn't. That wasn't really my top priority at the time. I wouldn't have been able to anyways, not on my own and not out there.
Right. But this increased the concerns that you mailed me about?
Yes, it did. Violence, he reacted to her like she was actually... Her voice. It's not just in my head.
Hey, whoa. Look at me. It's alright. Take a breath. Waters, this is Violence we're talking about. Notoriously not a reliable witness. Has anyone else heard it? Do you know?
I read recordings Sirius has at the facility. I hear the conversation I've had with her. Playback. I don't know if that's in my head or...
Send them to me. I'll listen.
You want me to send them now?
Do you have them on you right now? Tell you what. I'll message you when I get home. You can send them then. I should listen to them in my office, not here.
Understood.
I know you're worried about a lot of this, but I don't think you've been doing anything wrong. You worry that this voice is making you act differently, but you're going through grief. That also makes a person act differently. That's something completely normal.
Was it truly grief alone that drove my hand to an attack that would take the life of someone who didn't even murder my daughter?
I don't know. I just think it's too soon to jump to conclusions like that. We'll figure this out. For now, do you want another drink?
Yeah, I'll take it.
How does Waters drink? That's my question. Also, I really need Marcelo to go out to the bar with these two. I need the three of them to interact. But also, how does Waters drink?
We need... I literally asked this earlier today. Hold up, let me pull up the
I imagine
paragraph.
like to the side, thum, just pour it into the.
Let me pull up the paragraph. Okay, so I asked if how Waters can if Waters drinks coffee, and what Myth responded with, Waters can drink coffee, yes. Funny thing to work with is that for eating and drinking, he kind of has to put it into one of his spare tanks on his back and have it cycle into his water jug so that he can drink/eat from within there. Very ridiculous as premise, just to start. But sometimes he will forget he's wearing the tank, so he'll take the drink up to where his mouth will be. It will hit against the jug and then spill all over him, and he will refuse to acknowledge it happened.
That's funny. So I was kind of right. It gets poured into the big jug.
Speaking about Marcelo joining Cam and Waters, I actually thought of a therapy group with the parental figures of Solus.
Yeah, I
Just
hey,
because
Virgil will not have a job after tomorrow, so he should be very free for doing all sorts of lore.
Awesome.
I've just been so nervous about asking him.
No, don't
know
be
him.
scared. He's always like, everyone's always afraid of me, but like he's not scary. He's a great writer, and if you talk to him about like, hey, I want to do this, he will tell you how to make it even better or worse. Worse, like emotionally, but better. It'll be so good.
I'm not afraid of him. I'm more have social anxiety, so when I'm talking to someone new, I get.
That's fair. Well, he's also gonna start his writing class thing, so y'all can get to know him in that. Go sign up for it if you haven't already, people listening. All right, let's keep going. I think we'll be able to finish before the next top of the hour. From Truffle, forgive me. Today was Remembrance Day, and I had too many things to remember. Light had just died, that was one. So many people had died at the ball, that was several more. The people who had been hurt otherwise, but I guess today was meant to be dedicated to those lost in the Great Anomaly. I spent most of my day staring. I stared at the blank ceiling when I woke up, and the bed felt like it was pulling me down. I stared at the plate of food Chaos made for me before he tapped me on the shoulder, saying it'll get cold. I stared at the trees before I let myself get lost in the forest with nothing but a bucket and a shovel to keep me company. I stared at the orange tulips I'd found, dug up, and taken with me. Orange tulips weren't all that beautiful to me if I were honest. The color was never my favorite, especially compared to the rich and deep crimson of some of the roses, or the peaceful violet hues of lavender, or even the dark freckles that foxgloves carried on their colorful buds. The shape was never that interesting either when you had the gorgeous mandalas? Yeah, of dahlias, or the cushiony pillows that were peonies. But orange tulips were sturdy, surviving in even the worst of environments. That's when... I'm struggling. That's what made them perfect gifts. I gave them to everyone I knew and cared about, sometimes even just strangers. Now, whenever I see orange tulips, I can't help but cry. My chest was heavy as the large rocks I carried to the side of my house. They were set up all next to each other, an equal distance apart. The rough edges and dirt were crude, to say the least. I went to the marketplace, buying just a small chisel. It was dark by the time I got back, but I didn't care for the curfew, staying there, breaking off small parts of each rock until they looked perfect. After that, I got small planks of wood, engraving small messages into each of them. In remembrance of Liliana, in remembrance of Janet, in remembrance of Icarus. But I broke them over my knee and restarted because they wouldn't want to be remembered like that, all sad and dreary. In celebration of Liliana, in celebration of Janet, in celebration of Icarus. Memories came rushing back to me. Me and Liliana would go rushing out into flower fields during our breaks that were few and far between. She would be in her old dark pink gown that she didn't care to dirty with grass stains. The wind would bully her, messing her dusty blonde hair up just because she was always forgetting to bring a hair tie. Then we would pick up the same flowers each time we went. I would pick up piles of orange tulips, giving the highest quality ones to those I was closest to. She would always pick the lilacs and a singular red rose that went to Janet. Her fingers got better at avoiding the thorns over time. The sun would be beating down on us in the summer, cold chill stabbing us in the winter, yet we would be laughing when we inevitably did something dumb. One of the things I remember most is the scent, sweet wildflowers, especially potent when they release their pollen in the spring. Memories of the others came rushing back. Me and Icarus would be crouched down in an air hangar, always too hot because of all the running engines and lack of ventilation. He would be teaching me how to repair the jets just in case he or someone else couldn't come help me. Janet would sit with me, sipping her chamomile tea and talking about petty drama I never bothered to get involved in. Maybe the lack of these moments was what made Solace feel so empty to me, the lack of community. Yet, I feel as if I have no option but to be distrustful of these people. The thought of what I had lost made me cry. The crying made me tired. Just how long had I been out here? I had one more question before sleep took me. Do you forgive me? Truffle had been out nearly all day, and I couldn't help but worry. I was still getting used to the way time is perceived here, and it must have been 1 in the morning when I finally went outside to search for Truffle. I didn't have to go too far. They were collapsed on the ground in front of the 3 pieces of stone, 3 graves. What was more interesting to me, however, was what they must not have been able to see. 3 apparitions that were not souls, were not spirits, but rather pure energy of what was left behind. They were devoid of life, personality, and any ability to think anymore. The situation was terrifyingly strange. Just what had happened, while I was presumably sleeping, to strip a creation of not just their life, but spirit as well. They were presumably feeling the last emotion they felt before tragedy had befallen them, blazing a red-hot rage. Targeted at Truffle. They had done something and these people did not forgive them. At ease. A creation made with my powers could only truly rest in peace if I myself dismissed them. It was horrifying to think of just how many others fell to the same fate. I carried Truffle back inside, covering them with a thick blanket as it was a rather chilly night. After everything was peaceful in the household, I left. And I climbed the highest mountain I could find. The air was cold to the point it burned, but I didn't mind. Today was Remembrance Day, but I felt as if I had forgotten everything. Still, I let myself dissipate, particles of my very being dissolving past the atmosphere of the planet and into the familiar vast expanse of space. It felt weird to do, considering I was still regaining much of my strength, but I was calm up here all the same. Fragments of the past were finally coming back to me. She was coming back to me. Everything felt peaceful, yet overstimulating at the same time, and I found that I could not stay up here for long. I came back down, falling like rain. It was dark, and Truffle had said something about a curfew, so I made sure I got back to the house quickly. I couldn't help but spare one final glance at those graves. I want to know what happened to Truffle to make those 3 hate them. Like, what did they do? Alright, from Loki. Consumed. I'm already on the road when the day finds me. The air is cool, the kind that settles into joints. Gravel shifts under my shoes in a familiar way, and I nod to a man I pass without really seeing his face. I sit at the table. The chair creaks when I settle into it, knife in my right hand, fork in my left. They tremble a little, but that's nothing new. I wait for them to calm, then cut carefully. The motion comes back to me easily. I chew, slow and practiced, the way I was taught. I dab my mouth with a napkin. It all feels in order. I'm walking again, halfway past the post office. Someone calls out a greeting. I answer a little too loudly and laugh at myself for it. The sound surprises me, but only briefly. Laughter passes. My fingers buzz, a quiet restlessness. I shake my hands once at my sides, like loosening stiff joints, and keep going. Back at the table, the light has shifted. Afternoon, maybe. I take another bite. The taste is full, grounding. I concentrate on cutting even pieces. The fork skids when my hand jumps. I smile at the small mistake and adjust. The square opens up in front of me, stalls, voices, and the low murmur of a day being lived. I pause because my knees feel uncertain. Then they remember themselves and I move on. A woman asks if I'm coming later. I tell her yes. My jaw chatters when I smile, but she doesn't comment. At the table, I sit a little straighter. I chew more slowly now. There's an ache in my face, the pleasant kind that comes from use. I wipe my hands, careful to keep things neat. At the well, I lower the bucket. The rope trembles with me. Water rises, dark and steady. A boy watches wide-eyed. I grin and bow slightly, like I've done something worth clapping for. He laughs, so do I, longer than necessary until the sound fades on its own. I take a seat on the low wall nearby. My leg bounces. I rest my hand on it to still it. At the table, there isn't much left. I notice without urgency. I cut smaller pieces, more out of habit than need. My hands knock the utensils together. The sound makes me smile. I chew, I swallow, I breathe. I stand and greet the old man passing by. He asks how I am. I tell him I'm fine. It feels like the right answer. My shoulders twitch once sharply, then settle. I'm sitting at the table with an empty plate. I line the knife and fork beside it, parallel, satisfied. I wipe my mouth one last time. The chair scrapes softly as I stand. The street narrows towards my house. The key trembles in my hand, singing against the lock. I hum along quietly and the door opens. Inside, everything feels close and familiar. I sit, though I don't remember deciding to. My mouth moves as if finishing something already done. I laughed under my breath, not at all anything in particular. When I lie down, the day feels complete. I wake up walking, and it all continues naturally from there. And then from Waters, the final flash, the end of Elliot and Waters. Last Waters backstory doc for a while. We better enjoy it. Memories and Mistakes, Flash 3, 18 years ago. Codename Guide, Alderic, Waters, Elia, Wavebreaker, Severin, Patch, Kevara, Rox, Riken, Raven. This team will only be relevant for this document. You forgot about this. All right. Patch. A voice crackles over into Alderic's earpiece. A loud audible distress on open mic. For a mission that is supposed to be silent and quick, but he cannot bring himself to correct it. He cannot will himself to even move. No, no, no. Patch, stay with me. Listen to me. Alderic pulls his head back away from the scope of his rifle, no longer able to watch or listen as Kevara rushes to Patch, shaking their body where it lays on the ground. Severin's body. They don't need a code name here, not in thoughts. A friend. Laying on the ground from a wound that came from inside the building, but that can't be. He scoped it out himself, personally, the day before, as well as early this morning. The only people who were supposed to be there were the targets, who he watched enter from his sniper nest, but not from the direction of the attack. How did he miss this? He never misses. Alderic snaps the stands, then stands up on his rifle and rolls it from the strap onto his middle back as he drops into a slide going down the hill towards the building in quick succession. Mission is compromised. Rox, grab Patch, and leave them. Elia's voice cuts through the cold air, builds silence in its wake as the words are processed, as the meaning is gathered. Alderic's boots snap against the wet mud at the bottom of the hill, breaking the moment that became frozen in time. He stands there, still there, I'm struggling as we get longer through this thing. I'm tired, sorry. He stands still there, a million thoughts racing through his mind, but none finding purchase. Instead, his feet move as he circles towards the back entrance the team had used before, at a pace undesirable for stealth operation. What do you mean, Wavebreaker? Explain. Travel has only just barely made him at the metal door when he hears her laughter come through in response. His hand stills on the metal bar. He can feel the cold through his gloves. Waters. Patch was a betrayer. She repeats his code name back with the same intensity, having caught on to his non-subtle command to use it instead of his actual name. That's when he sees them, through the now open door of the back entrance. He watches how Kevara reactively shoots back away from Severin at that moment, her stony hands still tinted with the teal of their blood as she pulls away with something like fear, horror, disgust. Elia steps free from the shadows, the golden glint of her eyes reflecting before the light covers her person. She's blending away from the disguise of Alderic himself. He has to look away from her when he starts to realize what she's done. Her blade drips with a mixture of poison and blood. I got the call from the command today. They've been working with the rebellion on this planet for months under our noses. This was their execution. Alderic stares down at Severin, with the absence of a place to look in his lover, or whatever mirror house reflection of her stands before him now. Severin was only 2 years older than him, but they lived through many more hardships than Alderic never got the chance to fully learn about. They had questions, doubts, but they always fought through them because they knew that lives would be saved back home. Their questions always made them come back to the team stronger. They were young, motivated to make changes. There was never. The command gave you the authority to run this behind our backs? A couple days ago, didn't Severin come to him with concerns? Words spoken in a quiet corner. A concern for the way Elia was running the team. Evidence on operations that have been redirected or plans changed due to her reckless tendencies. A pile of paperwork that went missing from his pack on landing on this planet. He thought he must have left them in the office as they wouldn't be relevant for this mission. I'll answer the question, Wavebreaker. Elia stops laughing. Her expression tightens into a mix of confusion and frustration. With the roll of her shoulders, she sighs as she looks down at Severin before passing them to stand in front of Alderic, blocking his view, forcing his eyes to rise to meet her. They didn't tell me to do this. I thought this would be best for everyone. There's the sound of wind rushing and dispersing around them, then the clack of talons meeting the flat stone flooring. It gives Alderic something else to turn his eyes to. There, he sees Riken with his feathers ruffled and blue eyes glaring something sharp at the back of Elia's head as he moves to Severin. Alderic rolls his head back to stare at the ceiling before shaking it and grabbing Elia's arm tight. There's a second of consideration before he decides, no, the whole team should be witness to this discussion, or what's left of it. You enjoyed it, didn't you? Alderic states slowly, lowering his gaze to her. It's there that he watches the panic spread on her features. Her eyes dart back to the team behind her, but he snaps his fingers to the side her eyes go as he gestures her back to look at him. What? You enjoyed pretending to be me, using the feelings of care and community I had for them to manipulate and trap them into a slaughter. How did you do it? Did you bring up our conversations about our families back home? Did that get them to pause long enough so that you could murder them in a way that would have them believe I did it? Also that you could watch the fear and sorrow at a betrayal like... Alderic stops talking to take a breath. The bubbles snap in the space of his helmet. His hands are shaking, his grip is getting tighter. Elia is staring at him like he's one of those tree-sized beasts they encountered on the last planet. Something he saved her from then, but nobody is saving her from now. Alderic, listen, Did you enjoy the process of framing them as well? The weeks of torment, adding piles into piles of evidence to get them turned in by someone, knowing it would not be by me? Sure, it warranted investigation, but that takes time. You thought it would take too long, didn't you? You're hurting me, Elia shouts out, finally pushing his hand off of her with a solid shove to the forearm. Alderic, I didn't do anything like that. I wouldn't. She practically hisses the words out. Alderic stares at her as she steps back from him, though his eyes only snap to how close her boots get to stepping on Severin. He does not concern himself with the way she clutches her arm, stares at him with a fear he has only seen reserved for conversations of her father. But you have. I have witnessed you doing the same thing to other teams. Why would it be any different for your own? His voice is slow, measured, each word considered in a way the previous anger had not allowed. It's a question that he actually wants the answer to. It's a concern he actually needed to voice for a very long time. I am the leader you appointed to this team. I had a right to know, to plan accordingly, Alderic states, grabbing her arms and pulling her back and away from the body so that he can gesture to it, even though at some point it became covered by someone's coat. I would not plan or perpetrate an execution this sloppily. You are aware that my position here isn't symbolic, right? I am not your fucking lapdog. I will not sit and behave or let you bite on my behalf. Then he pushes away from her. She stumbles back a few steps, but catches herself. Alderic doesn't even look at her. Raven, grab the body and fly it to the shuttle for confirmation and transport to headquarters. Rox, make sure that the rebellion has been eliminated here, then make sure the Wavebreaker makes it back to the shuttle before nightfall. There is silence following his words, the shuffling of feet, unsure. Kivara looks like she'll be sick. She can't even look at where Severin's body rests. Riken is more quiet than he ever has been, missing his coat and standing still with his eyes shut. There's nothing he can say to them that will help, nothing more he can do for this team. He has failed them. Disperse. With that, Alderic takes one more look down at the covered body, lets himself feel the loss one last time, then he pulls himself back together and turns to walk back out the door he entered the building from. He will walk the way back to the shuttle in the cold, alone. He will be reassigned to a new team by the next day, as is the consequence of lashing out at the envoy of the Dorsa command in the eyes of their surveillance. He knew it would happen. He accepted that the moment he knew he'd have to tell Severin's sister that they had died on one of his assignments. How is he going to do that? How could he tell someone that a family member was executed as a betrayer while on another planet a month of travel away from home? At least in solitude, he'll have a month to think about it. Oh. Waters. Yo, 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 this is the point of view from the government in Waters lore. May edit this later. From Bagel. Okay. 1,005 years before the Great Anomaly. This is Magos' backstory lore. Oh, interesting, interesting. Okay. This planet sucks. Dry, red sands and mountain terrain has filled my vision. On the corners of Clint Velreal, we must take this moon before moving on to the next planet. I would have loved to conquer the main planet first. At least there is water on it. There were 16 men with me. There were more, but they split off to try and capture one of these world factories. I hope we can at least get into one before one of the many radiation storms hit. I'm thinking we call this moon Alrosilla. Alrosilla. The soldier who spoke was called Vac. He unfortunately was my comms officer. His job suited him perfectly, for he could not keep his mouth shut. He was big for his species and was insect-like. He had a pattern of red and gold on his exoskeleton. Sadly, the comms were not correctly fitted for his species. That just sounds as dumb as you look, Vac, the medical officer yapped. Oni, that was her name on the file, a small rodent-like species. I do not like how she scurries across the ground in her semi-bipedal form. However, I do respect her for her knife skills. How about we call it a factory, since it's the reason why we are even here? My voice ordered. I was better than these lower ones in front of me. I am special. I have been advanced. My form now mostly water. I am the leader of this squad. I am Konbin. I am not very well suited for this planet, and I swear this heat will be the death of me. We had marched through the heat. We did not have much time, like always. We had to breach and get control of this factory before the storm rolls in. Each step felt worse than the last in this heat. Hours felt like years. With 5 clicks to nightfall, I see a gap in our targeted mountain. Finally, a cave, my exhausted tone gasped. We will set up camp here and then use the cave to breach inside. Once we are inside, we must be prepared to take out as many hostiles as we can. I may not be the best with speeches, but I simply get to the point. Little rocks were bouncing in this cave. Was an earthquake happening? No, this was something different. My voice tore through the murmurs. Brace yourselves. A creature bust through the ground beside us. It resembled a giant mechanical worm with a drill that opened up to a furnace inside. Blaster bolts pelted the machine as it drove at us. I heard screaming and felt the sprinkles of blood land on my equipment. Some poor soul had been impaled and was being spun on the drill. Finally, our shots bring this machine down. Oni would scuttle up to me. Her voice chirped. Sir, we are a man down, and we have Vac on trying to decipher any code we can on this beast. Vac would be searching through what I could assume was this machine's brain. Maybe his race wasn't so useless after all. End of part 1. All right. The point of view from the government in Water's lore. That's very interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing the connection. Hi, Krufik. Mix-ups and tales. From CJ.
Right.
Did you want to read this?
I can read this again. Yeah, I can. It's just my mouse is loading. Hold on.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah, it's having a mental crisis again. Hold on. Load for me. There we go. Kron pulled their mask back down after taking a few bites of an apple, passing the fruit from hand to hand as they made their way from the market to try to find the hotel. The carrots in their pockets, fresh and washed, gently knocked against their legs from within their trench coat pockets as they walked, following the path lined with flora and trees. They had been starving, not having much food left at home, so by the time they reached the bottom steps leading to the Statue of Remembrance, the apple was skinned down to its core. Kron spat out the seed they had almost eaten, carefully placing it back into the slot in the fruit remains, and continued to walk, keeping an eye out for a bin. They didn't want to just drop it on the ground. That was gross and unfair, especially since the place looked so nice. Kron hurried their way past the community center, their hoofed feet meeting smooth carved stone, coming to face the awkwardly long path towards the courthouse. Surely they'd be directions at a hotel somewhere here, right? Kron continued on, occasionally coming to pull the shoulders of their trench coat back up, the fabric being pulled down their arms from the weight of the vegetables in their pockets. But as they were just about to quicken their pace past the hospital, a random spark of red against the pale building made them falter. It was a woman with red hair standing on the porch, her arms crossed and her back leaning against one of the posts, a scarf around her neck occasionally being adjusted by her hands as she gave a look around every now and then, but mainly watching the hospital door. It was Krufik, the ruler of guilt as Kron knew her by at first. In a few of Kroy's stories, the ruler of guilt is mentioned a good bit, but Kroy had mixed up the names a few times, so Kron was able to deduce that this character was Krufik, or at least based off of her. Kron used to like the character, even after they found out that it might have been an actual person, but now, with what the actual person has recently been up to, Krifik's head turned away to look around once more, but this time she caught sight of Kron, who had been unintentionally staring at her while lost in thought. Gave a small wave, which in return, Kron just gave a hesitant nod before turning to continue on their way, cursing at themselves for zoning out there, of all places. But just as they were focusing back on task, they heard footsteps approaching from behind, followed by a voice. Alfie? Hey, Alfie! Alfie? Kron faltered a bit in their steps, just as Krufik popped up at their left side and began to talk, not exactly letting Kron process things. This is the second person to call him that, the first time being Mr. Fisherman, but he backed off pretty quickly when Kron told him that they weren't this Alfie person. But Krufik, she just kept going, talking about the change of clothes, about visiting her in the hospital, flowers. What was she on about? I'm not Alfie. Krufik's ranting stopped once Kron interrupted her, her expression changing to one of confusion, as if Kron had said something completely random, which to her was exactly it. You're not? She was still for a second, then she began to move around Kron, her steps varying from quick and short to slow and almost hesitant, as if waiting for something about Kron to jump out at her. When nothing did, she stopped in front of them, one hand on her hip and the other scratching the side of her head, genuinely puzzled for a reason Kron didn't understand. Are you sure? I know you had Her hand moved from her head to gesture in Kron's general direction, seeming to be trying to find the right word. A situation going on, but I didn't think it would give you amnesia. Maybe your shot to head made you stupid. Kron mumbled under their breath, crossing their arms over their chest and giving Krufik an unamused look that she couldn't see. Before Krufik could comment on what they said, however, they continued. I'm Kron, not Alfie. Kron. Well, do you know an Alfie? I didn't know your friend. Maybe he with whiny bitch, your other friend. Kron stated this firmly, sidestepping slightly, wanting to leave. But then they remembered what Kroy had taught them. Manners. They couldn't just storm off. They'd feel bad about it later. So they took a deep, quiet breath to calm down, just as Krufik seemed to process that whiny bitch was actually Okul. No, he wouldn't be in Frostfire. She paused for a second, her eyes darting to the side for a moment in thought. Then her attention flicked back. Do you know an angel? Or a Susu, maybe? Her voice heightened in pitch as she asked that, seeming uncertain of the question herself, but still asking. Kron thought for a second, perking up a little in a small realization. Kroy told a story called The Angel. I not know one, though. Krufik's face appeared to scrunch up, confused stutters escaping her slightly agape mouth. Krufik stopped herself, letting out a sigh and rubbing the side of her temple, her eyes darting over Kron again, like she missed something and she's trying to find out what it is she missed. Kron, on the other hand, couldn't figure out what was so hard to understand. Were they not saying something right? Did she not understand? They ran through what they had said again in their head, but didn't catch on to anything that could have caused a misunderstanding. You mentioned Kroy. Kron's shoulders tensed a little, but they nodded in confirmation. Her Their hands moving to readjust the trench coat on their shoulders again, pulling at the black shoulder pads. Their fingers brushed over a rip on the back of their arm of the fabric. They really should try to fix and wash the coat at some point. Krufik continued after a second, evidently trying to figure something out. Do they look like you too? They're the one telling you the story about the angel? What was it about? Corey not look like me, but Kron paused for a moment, trying to think about how to explain the story along with remembering it. As they began, their head was turned down for better focus, their fingers twiddling with the tie, which had been retied very poorly. They still hadn't taken off the clothes they wore from the ball. The angel was from stars. He fell with friend, down here, Solace. They made human bodies to fish in and hide from the witch, who made the angel and friend fall. They found family after a while, the angel father, ruler of guilt, and the knight. The angel and the knight close, but the witch found and made the angel and friend bodies sick. Friend left first, and the angel went after. They left bodies and went back to stars. They happy there, watching and caring from far away. When Kron looked back up, Krufik was the one looking away this time, her eyebrows furrowed in deep thought. One of her arms wrapped around her middle, the elbow of the other propped up on top of it, that hand scratching the back of her neck. Kron tilted his head slightly, a flicker of curiosity popping up in their mind, which Krufik seemed to notice, as she began to mutter her thoughts aloud. The angel, self-explanatory, the friend, probably Susu, the father, Eurillo maybe, but the ruler of guilt and the knight. She would glance back to Kron, her arm falling to cross loosely with the other across her chest. She tilted her own head slightly, unintentionally mimicking Kron while thinking, until she spoke up again, genuine curiosity sparking in her voice. Did they say anything more about the ruler of guilt and the knight? What were they like? Oh, the knight only in that story. The angel. They quiet and was alone, but got close with the angel. Corey said Knight would talk to the angel in the sky when he went to stars. Oh, and the ruler of guilt, she... Kron faltered, the words stuck on their tongue as they glanced towards Krufik. They were trying to figure out what to say that wouldn't make her figure out straight away. They didn't want to be held there and questioned as much as they liked talking about the stories they loved. Well, I'm not sure about Ruler of Guilt. They connected to Angel Father, that all I know. They trailed off into a mumble as they said that, their head turning subtly to the side as if they saw something over there and got distracted. What they said was not exactly a lie, but not fully the truth either. Kron didn't know who this Yarnlow person is and how they're connected to the Angel Father, but they hoped that Krufik knowing them doesn't point obviously in a certain direction. They noticed Krufik's eyes narrowing at them from the corner of their vision, which made their shoulders suddenly bunch up in anticipation. Okay, so the knight is Al. Kron's head twitched back to face the woman when her murmured thought was cut off, noticing that she seemed to realize something before focusing completely on Kron once again. Where is Croy? Kron's fiddling stopped a moment, their body noticeably tensing in on itself as they were reminded of Croy's current state of whereabouts. They took a small breath, their fidgeting fingers resuming their fumbling. He missing after went to ball, holding up ceiling, helping people get out. Then ceiling fell and he was gone. Their voice was small, their words spoken with a quick pace, as if they wanted to get the explanation over with. But soon they caught onto themselves and straightened up. They weren't gonna be acting like that in front of her. She's friends with Okul. She could trick them. Maybe make them like Sunny is, or how Froggy was. They weren't going to be played like they were stupid. But he promised he'd come back, and he gonna do that. It just take a while. Oh. Okay. Krufik's own voice appeared to shrink a little, her fingers doing her own fiddling, only with the scarf wrapped around her neck. Oddly enough, made Kron falter, not exactly expecting that response. Honestly, they didn't really know what they expected. They barely knew Krufik, only from the possibly not true stories and the events that involved them. She looked kind of like something was wrong, but it wasn't clear what. Was he your friend? He is. He teaches me a lot and helps me, Kron began, not thinking too much on the word was. Rory wasn't dead. He wouldn't go out like that. Besides, he's a ghost. He can't die easily. He's good. Well, if he comes back, will you tell me? Krufik asked, her attention focusing back to Kron fully, her hands adjusting the scarf after toying with it. It seemed important to her. Maybe it's like Kron's mask is to them. You could come to Frostfire, or just leave a note in the mailbox. It'll be safe, even though the whiny bitch is there. The soft laugh escaped her as she said Okul's well-earned title from Kron, before straightening up, her hands moving to her pockets. She won't do anything to you. I'll make sure of it. The hint of a threat was obvious there, which was a subtle but quick switch up from a second earlier. In a way, it made Kron relax a little after being a little surprised, their own hands moving down to rest on top of the carrots in their pockets. Maybe she wasn't that bad after all. Okay, I will. Kron walked by as Krufik began to make her own way back to her spot beside the hospital door, watching Kron from over her shoulder. Bye, Krufak! With that clumsy save of mixing up the names and a wave, Kron turned and continued up the path, mind set back on their personal mission, while also reeling over the conversation they just had with the ruler of guilt.
I forgot that, like, Krufik knows about Alfie and all them. Interesting. I look forward to see Croy and Krufik meet up again. Zamboni Marcello?
Pardon?
Zamboni Marcello. I saw
Who the
I had
fuck
a
is
ping.
Zamboni?
A Zamboni is like, okay, so you know how people are like writing and drawing the like skater, hockey, whatever, ice skating AU for like the SMP, and anyway, a Zamboni is like the machine that makes the ice smooth, like smooths out the ice, melts it and refreezes it or whatever. So Comet said Zamboni Marcello. You made Marcello the janitor, Truffle? That's crazy. So wait, that's crazy. I gotta draw him with like a. I have the perfect idea of what he's gotta still have the same massive ego, but like, look like a loser, you know? Threw a pizza and a drink at a customer once. That's great, and he sells food. Oh no, Lucky! Lucky does the machine stuff and sells food. Never mind. Okay. Continuing on. A thought. Neek the lore drop. Here we go. Oh. It is just one.
It's just binary. The correct translation by Truffle. Don't look at the first one. That's wrong. The second one.
I want justice for them, for all of them. Not enough is being done, but what can I even do? If I could just be everywhere at once, I would find that son of a bitch. I can be everywhere at once. I need to go to KOS. Ooh, the true bear emoji. I know what this is. I know what Glacier's cooking up. You shall see. Content warning for gruesome imagery. The reason of laughter. Backstory, by the way, of the laughing guy you made fun of. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make fun of the laughing guy.
It's gonna be the most depressing stuff now.
Alright, here we go.
Well done.
Hollow Fade disease didn't arrive with sirens or explosions. It seeped in quietly, like mold behind the walls, until the whole town felt soft and rotten. At first, it was only a few children who stopped coming to school. Then entire classrooms sat empty, desks gathering dust that no one bothered to wipe away. The illness didn't kill quickly, that was the cruelty of it. It hollowed people out over months, draining strength, memory, and voice. Childhood stretched into long, pale waits for something that never came. In other towns, people spoke about Hollow Fade in hushed tones, as if fear itself might carry the disease. In my town, fear had long since learned how to scream. My little sister Mira was 9 when she stopped running, 10 when she stopped laughing. By 11, she couldn't stand without help. Her room became her whole world, thin curtains, flickering light, the slow rhythm of her breathing. I sat beside her every evening, reading old school books aloud because they were the only stories she still recognized. Sometimes she smiled, sometimes she didn't respond at all. I learned how to pretend. Pretend I didn't see how her hands shook. Pretend I didn't notice how my parents whispered arguments late at night, voices sharp with exhaustion and terror. Pretend the future still existed. The government said they were acting in everyone's best interest. Trains arrived at the station, iron beasts coughing steam, their cars sealed tight. Officials called it relocation, quarantine zones, temporary separation. They used words that sounded clean and reasonable. But the people who boarded those trains never wrote back. When my family's notice arrived, stamped and final, my father folded it carefully and set it on the table like it might explode. My mother cried. Mira didn't understand. I said no. I wouldn't leave her. I wouldn't let her be taken somewhere cold and distant, surrounded by strangers in masks. If the disease was going to take her, it would not take her alone. The containment unit came at night. They didn't knock. The door shattered inward, wood splintering across the floor. Shadows filled the house. My parents shouted questions that never received answers. The men moved with practiced efficiency, like machines that had forgotten what they were built for. I clattered against the wall like a doll thrown out after use, my shoulder crumpling beneath a grown man's weight. I watched. The gun, I watched as one of them mercilessly aimed and ended my mother instantly. Damn. I watched. My father, I watched as he fell to his knees, a bullet given to him as well. I watched. Mira, I watched as they grabbed her violently, shoving her outside. I watched. Outside, I watched as they put her in a cube. I listened to the cube. I listened as her screams pierced the ears of everyone around. To Mira, I listened as her voice disappeared. The fire. I listened to the fire that I heard outside, inside the cube that burned her. The silence afterward was unbearable. It pressed in from every direction, louder than the screams had been. The unit left as quick as they came, leaving me alone in the corner. I stared at my mother, my father, what remained of them. During that night, the town unraveled. The school burned. It was officially declared contaminated beyond saving. Flames climbed into the sky, devouring the place where I'd once worried about exams and friendships. People watched from their windows and said nothing. There was nothing left to say. Something inside me changed then. Grief didn't soften me, it sharpened me. Every loss carved a clear, terrible line. This was done by people, not fate. By orders. By signatures on paper. So I walked. Through streets lined with boarded windows, past homes abandoned midlife, towards the government building that still stood untouched at the town center, clean and bright, as if the suffering had politely gone around it. I grabbed the door handle. It was high, for me anyway. The door opened as if it had been oiled daily. My mother's blood still coated my hands. Inside, the town's president waited behind a polished desk. A man in a press suit, hands folded, eyes tired but unafraid. He spoke about necessity, about hard choices, about numbers and projections and safety. I listened. When it was over, there was no shouting, no spectacle. Not until I made one. Rage engulfed me. No, it wasn't rage. It was something different. I launched at him, grabbing his face with my hand, my blood-stained hand. My fist crashed into his face, again. How would he feel, killed by a child? A pen came into my grasp, and therefore it came in contact with him. I looked into his eyes. My face was as blank as his. He was dead. I ate it. Sorry. I looked at the last line too soon. I hate it. Damn. Alright.
Must have been very hungry.
Yeah. From Ray, we have Ray's backstory. The Pyrosalin were adapted to cold environments. However, they could withstand heat better than Chrysalins. Their skin was a warm, light-toned red with no unique markings. Ray lived closer to the Chrysalin settlements than the Pyrosalins of Virelin. Thriving among people rather than solitude. She was known for her stubborn loyalty, and once someone mattered to her, she refused to let them be forgotten or left behind. Virelin was a world of balance and patience, and Ray never quite fit the way her best friend Gray did. The Chrysalin lived in harmony with the land, listening before acting, moving carefully through ecosystems older than memory. Ray respected that, not quite getting the point of it, and still pushed against it. Ray talked too much, explored too far, and challenged the rules that existed purely to preserve stillness. The great anomaly made the world fall silent, something Ray was unfamiliar with. One moment the world was full, the next people were gone. Leaders, caretakers, entire families erased in silence. At first, Ray didn't understand what had happened. Nobody did. If anyone else was alive on Virelin, Virelin was still there. The ice standing still, civilizations paused. It felt wrong. It was as if the gods couldn't hold their breath long enough before the next catastrophe took place. Only once every decamillennium. I have never seen that word before. Decamillennium. When a meteor and a comet aligned paths and made contact. Ice melted where it never had before. Oceans boiled beneath frozen crusts, sending toxic vapor into the air. Despite the chaos around her, Ray only had one thing on her mind. Her friend, the only one she truly cared about in the world she once knew. Gray. Ray ran across cracking ice, yelling Gray's name until her voice burned. She followed the markings of nature, finding her way through civilizations, making way to the one place that would have the highest population, the capital. When Ray arrived, she saw Gray standing in the middle of the capital. It was silent, Gray surrounded by ruin. Ray didn't stop to think, not daring to hesitate in the crumbling city. Ray's arms wrapped around Gray tightly, trying to soothe her from the trembles in her body. Finally, Ray took her arms off of Gray, her hand finding Gray's wrist. "We're leaving," Ray declared, trying to get Gray to move from the spot where she was standing still. "We have to get moving, come on," Ray urged, tugging on Gray's wrist softly. Gray didn't argue, she followed. She always trusted Ray when it mattered. Ray took Gray to the only place that seemed plausible for escape, the spaceport. When they arrived, it was barely functional. Most ships were gone or destroyed. One remained. Ray forced it online while the air grew thick and burning hot, while the ground cracked open to reveal a boiling core beneath the ice. When the ship finally lifted off, Ray didn't dare look back until they were stable in the stars. Virelin collapsed in on itself behind them in a volcanic blur, not sparing a single breath of the planet that was once there. The silence afterward was worse than the chaos. Ray didn't speak. She stared out into space, holding herself together through sheer will. Ray stayed close, finding the words in her throat and the memories of Virelin, discussing memories and stories to Gray when Gray couldn't. Ray tried to fill the quiet, because she knew that if she didn't, it would swallow them both. When they found solace, Ray knew it would never be quite the same as Virelin, not after losing it in the way they had. However, it was somewhere for the both of them to survive. Ray saw a place that needed people who would refuse to let things fall apart quietly, a place that needed voices willing to speak before failure turned into disaster. If Virelin taught Ray anything, it was the fact that nothing lasted forever. Ray told herself she would appreciate the land, take care of it, speak up for it, so that what happened on Virelin would never happen again. Not to Solace, not to Gray. And then we have Gray's backstory. The Chrysalin were a cold-adapted species born of ice worlds. Their physiology was shaped by glacial climates, cool-toned skin resistant to the cold, and faint crystalline markings beneath the skin that shimmered softly in low light. Chrysalin were known to be quiet by nature and gentle, forming deep emotional bonds with animals rather than people. Gray was no exception. She learned early that silence was not emptiness. On Virelin, stillness carried meaning. Ice shifted, winds changed direction, animals paused before storms. Gray grew up listening to those small signals, spending more time with nature than with people. The Chrysalin taught respect for balance, but Gray felt it instinctively. Gray understood the planet. Animals trusted her in ways they never trusted anyone else. When the great anomaly occurred, Gray was sitting along the edge of the ice, petting a penguin beside her. Gray noticed how the other penguins gathered around her for food. With a smile, Gray looked down, grabbing a fish and tossing it over to the penguins, watching them all run towards it. Soon after, she bent down again to grab a second fish. When she looked back up, her eyes widened with fear when she noticed the penguins that gathered around her, and the one right beside her had suddenly disappeared, leaving nothing but a small half-eaten fish forgotten on the ice. She looked around frantically for an explanation, but when she saw nothing nearby, she stumbled to her feet and began running towards civilization. This is the first time someone has mentioned animals disappearing in the Great Anomaly. Good for you. As Gray ran to tell the other Chrysalians, she noticed something beautiful, a comet and a meteor flying across the starry sky. It happened every decamillennium. We know that word. When their paths aligned, they met in a catastrophic bang. The once icy land had begun burning, causing oceans to boil and glaciers to melt, saturating the atmosphere with toxic fumes. Gray went to the capital because it felt like the last place where answers might still exist, where people could be, where her best friend Ray may be. She stood among the collapsing structures and shifting around, feeling the world unravel beneath her feet. She did not run, she waited, not because she was calm, but because she believed Ray would find her. Good night, Light. Gray felt Ray before she saw her, hands gripping her arms, a voice cutting through the chaos. We're leaving. We have to get moving. Gray didn't ask questions. When Ray told her to move, she moved. Trust came easily where fear did not. Ray took Gray to the spaceport, which was dying. Only one ship remained. Gray watched as Ray forced it online, the air thick with heat and vapor, the planet cracking open beneath them. As they lifted off, Gray looked back long enough to see Varellan begin to collapse in on itself, fire erasing what had once been stable and whole. On the journey that followed, Gray said very little. She held herself together through stillness, while Ray filled the silence with word vomit. Gray let her continue needlessly rambling, knowing it was comforting Ray to believe she's comforting Gray. When they finally found solace, Gray was skeptical of the people, opting to live in the familiar cold environment she was used to away from others. Gray believes solace can be a forever home, and hopes to find peace with the deep grief she carries. From Oliver. After a dream I had yesterday, I think I'm going to add gloves to my dislike list. Interesting. What an odd dream. Also fire art. Wake up. In need of a sister's shoulder. CJ, you are so good at, like, collaborating with people.
Thank you. Pray, read this as well. Ugh, God.
I can just read it if you want. I can, because, to be fair, it is like 11:15 for me. It's like 4 in the morning for you.
It's fine. I can read this, and then there's only like 3 more bits, and then I can go to bed. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, mine as well, okay? Right. Damn it. Kron's arm sharply jerked, the sound of ripping and crumpling paper making their ears twitch under their hood. They shoved the crumpled page into their pocket with the 5 other balls, adjusting their hunched position. To anyone who was to come by, they'd look like they were curled up in a ball, or to someone who didn't know them well, they looked like a feral creature crouched and muttering to themselves. Writing was supposed to be easy for them. They practiced almost all the time. Besides, they were supposed to be happy. They found the hotel that Ribbit person, Frog, was staying in. They gave her carrots because they heard she doesn't eat meat and that's all that was there. She was happy. Wasn't that meant to help? Maybe it was what they were writing. It was intended to be a letter to Miss Guide, Light. She had left one for them in Croy before she died at the ball. Did she know she was gonna die? Did she just write those just in case? Who does that unless they know they're gonna die? They shook their head, frustration growing as their thoughts became more jumbled, trying to rack them into place. They twiddled the pencil in their fingers, spinning it around between each one, dropping it occasionally. A little huff, shuffling it to sit relatively properly, slumped against the backrest of the bench, knees bent up close to their chest with their book propped up against them. That, however, was when a familiar figure caught Kron's attention out of the corner of their eye, making them look up. Kron! Kron tensed up a little, the bright face of Zinnia beginning to jog towards them, making a churning feeling begin to form in their stomach and chest. Her hair was shorter. A dark grey puffy jacket hung off her arms and shoulders, which she had to pull back up every now and then so the fabric wouldn't slip down to her elbows. They hadn't seen her since the ball. That was the first time they had seen her since she left. The last time they saw her before that was when she was not waking up in the hospital. Last time they heard from her before that was from a letter when they were in the hospital. Hey, Kron, I've been looking for you. Zinnia's voice was light and happy, her smile even clearer as she stopped a few feet away from Kron. Kron didn't answer. In fact, they turned their head back down to the book in their hands, trying to focus on writing this letter rather than their supposed friend who had come bounding up to them to say hi. Zinnia didn't notice this at first and continued to talk, pushing a bit of her fringe out of her face. She talked about how she's been and what she's been up to, mentioning what she's planning on doing. Eventually she caught herself thinking she had been talking a bit too much. She gave a soft laugh and apologized, scratching the back of her head, and then plopped herself down on the bench beside Kron. Sorry about that, I just wanted to catch you up because I haven't seen you since... She trailed off, her ever-present smile faltering a little as she took in Kron's changed appearance. They were still wearing the clothes they wore for the winter ball, but they were dusty and ruffled, a red stain having begun to form at the center of their chest through their shirt. Their trench coat had tears and rips all over it, dust clinging to the dark maroon-colored fabric. One of the golden buttons was dangling by a string. One thing that made Zinnia's worry grow more was Kron's mask. It had dark purple cracks all over it, where there wasn't before. She knew how important the mask was to them, so seeing it changed. How are you doing, Kron? Kron didn't answer, only shifting to talk into themselves more, attention dead set on writing. He didn't want to talk to Zinnia. They were hoping she would get the message and stop talking to them. However, this petty move didn't seem to register its meaning into Zinnia's head, and she began to keep asking questions. Are you going to fix your trench coat? Is your chest okay? What happened to your mask? Is it fixed? Has Croy come back yet? Do you know if he's okay? When Zinnia didn't get answers for any of those questions, she appeared to assume that it was because of the fact that it was a bit of a touchy subject, and so her focus shifted. Kron, after a few moments, glanced over, feeling something near his shoulder, spotting the face of Zinnia appearing over their shoulder, expression curious and eyes slightly wide. This made them tense up, shuffling away from her a bit. However, Zinnia countered it by shifting closer. What you doing? She craned her neck a little to catch a glimpse, a small excited gasp coming from her before Kron pulled away again, their side meeting the armrest of the bench. Zinnia, once again, inched closer, her legs beginning to swing a little. Oh, you're writing? What are you writing? Can I see? Kron let out a noise while moving so their back rested against the arm of the bench, their frustration growing and piling on top of the rest that were there from what they were trying to do. This shouldn't be this difficult. It should be easy, but it isn't, and they didn't understand why. Every time they thought about making this damn letter, it made their chest heavy, made their breath shorter, made their head hurt like it was the most trialing thing ever. It shouldn't be. It's a goodbye note. It didn't need to be long. It didn't need to be anything more than thanking Light and saying goodbye. It's all she left for them and Croy. That's all Zinnia left for them too. It was practically the same thing, minus the dead part. Pathetic and small, and to them it showed how much they didn't matter. No, this guy didn't mean that. They did matter to her, right? Kron had gotten so lost in her thoughts that they hadn't noticed that Zinnia had gone quiet, staring at them with a look that was very different from the one she had on mere minutes ago. Her legs had stilled, her nosy peeking attempts had ceased. A soft sigh escaped her. You're ignoring me, aren't you? No response, but Zinnia leaned forward slightly, her head turned towards Kron, trying to look directly at them, where their eyes would be behind their eyes. Is it 'cause I left? Kron's pencil stopped, their shoulders slowly hunching up to a noticeable tense position. Still, they didn't answer, but they began to feel guilty for it now. Meanwhile, Zinnia took this little change as a good enough confirming answer, her gaze flickering down to her hands, the golden lines of the scars just about peeking out from beneath the cuff of her jacket. I'm sorry, Kron. I'm sorry I left, especially without properly telling you. Her voice was soft, just above a murmur. She paused for a moment, as if trying to find the right words, or rather to gather the right thoughts in order to say what she needed to explain. Kron deserved some form of honesty, especially after what she heard happened at the faction meeting, and what she knew happened at the ball. There were things I needed to figure out, questions that I needed answers to, that I wasn't going to find answers to on Solace. And I found them. I found what I was looking for. Her tone shifted a little, sitting up a little straighter as a smaller, softer version of her smile returned to her face. There was nothing else I wanted out there other than that. I have friends that matter more to me now. Kron felt Zinnia place a hand on top of their knee, their eyes darting to it beneath their mask as they felt the gentle squeeze that came with it. Zinnia let out a soft breath when she didn't get a response once again, not noticing that Kron was paying attention beneath their cracked mask. Her hands slid from their knee as she stood, her smile faltering a little, but she kept it up. I understand if you're still angry at me, but know that if you need me, I'm not far, okay? And with that, she gave a small wave and turned to walk away, back the way she came from, her hands moving to her pockets. Her head was turned downwards towards her shoes, watching as they took slow but short steps. She was worried that Kron wouldn't forgive her, that they would stay mad at her and as a result not get help if they needed it. They were alone again, the memory of Croy sinking into the flames and ash returning to her mind. Did Kron have any other friends? But suddenly, the sound of fast footsteps made her head perk, but before she could look to check where it was coming from, a weight crashed into her back, making her stumble and almost fall over. But a pair of arms wrapping around her helped her regain her balance, the grip almost crushing but also careful. Zinnia tilted her head just enough to see a hooded head buried against the top of her shoulder blade, the familiar figure having a slight tremble to their shoulders. Sorry, Zin, don't go. The sad murmur from Kron was accompanied by a small sniff, adjusting their grip and taking a little hitched breath. They were doing their best to get out what they wanted to say clearly, stumbling over their words a little before finally managing. I'm sorry for being mad, for ignoring you. Just don't go away, please. Don't leave me alone. Zinnia quickly turned around in Kron's grip and returned the hug with a tight one of her own, her eyes shutting softly. Her thumb gently rubbed rhythmically up and down the back of Kron's head, muttering words of comfort which appeared to help, as Kron's incoherent ramblings stopped, followed by the shaking quick breaths. Slowly, Zinnia pulled back, her soft smile returning and her eyes opening, looking at Kron, now facing her. How about we go for a walk then, I'll see if I can try bake you some cookies if you'd like, though my baking skills are up for debate. Kron let out a little chuckle, sniffling one last time before giving a small, enthusiastic nod. Yes, please. I like that.
Go back to the eggs. This makes me more sad than the
This is so cute.
This is so cute. Oh, the picture. It's so cute.
Freya, I mean, you have a new reaction now.
Oh no.
Huh? Check DMs.
Hold on.
Huh? What's going on?
Hold on. There it is. Oh, why is this? There we go. Wonderful.
It's beautiful.
Alright, we have just 3 more things. Family ties. This is Okana lore. Praying. A waste of time. Certainly not something you'll find me doing on the regular, but alas, desperate times call for desperate measures. Milan, the god of bloodlines and familial ties. His help is how I found Okul the first time, and while I had hoped I wouldn't have to call on it again, his help is needed again. So I form my circle, relinquish the agony in my blade as sacrifice, proof that I am worthy of aid, and call upon Milan's power to strengthen the tie between me and the Warden. She'll feel it. I want her to, because one way or another we will find each other. The end of Vocal Skullcath draws near, and all of Solace will rejoice and revel in her absence. And that is when I make my next move. Oh, Kata scares me so bad.
Oh. Please kill her. Please. Oh my god, I'm so. Please kill
They
Uncle.
should kill
Kill.
each other equally, so that we don't have to deal with either of them again. Alright, made in collaboration with
God.
Comet. Content winning for wounds. Bob lore. I am woken up
Bob the
suddenly. Oh, I'm woken up suddenly by a nurse tapping me on the shoulder. They tell me that the person I brought in is okay now, that they are ready for visitors. I quickly get up and follow the nurse to Comet's room. I walk in and see Comet on a bed in the middle of the room. Large portions of their body are wrapped in bandages, including around their neck. They look empty. I run over to the bed and wrap my arms around Comet. They groan in pain, and I quickly release my grip, realizing their skin is still raw. I tell them that I thought I had lost them forever, and I start apologizing for not being at the ball. However, I should have been there to save them. How this wouldn't have happened if I were just faster. Before my spiraling can get any worse, Comet grabs my shoulder, looks me square in the eyes with a soft look and voice, and tells me it's not my fault. I pause for a few seconds before continuing and asking them what happened. I quickly say right after that, if they don't want to talk about it yet, they don't have to. They shake their head. It was violence, they said in the quiet voice. He kidnapped me after I collapsed at the ball. They shifted uncomfortably in the bed as their eyebrows furrowed painfully. He boiled me. I watched as their hands start to pick at the bandages and their jaw clenches. Their gaze was in some far-off place, avoiding looking at me. I can feel the anger and horror start to bubble up inside me. Their hands start to scratch at the skin under the bandages on their arms. What about your neck? I ask gently. The scratching gets more frequent. I have to hold back, at least for now. I need to make sure I have all the information. I need to know, Comet. Their gaze lowers and their jaw and lips tremble. Slowly, one of their hands raises to their neck, gently touching the bandaged area. Their voice is shaky and barely audible. They were completely frozen. I went too far. I reach for their other hand and gently hold it. You don't have to talk about it now. You don't have to talk. Slowly, their body starts to relax, but their gaze still remains straightforward, avoiding me. I've never seen them like this, ever. I can't hide my horror, but as I think, it quickly switches to hate. Comet senses the shift and squeezes my hand back firmly as if a warning. Violence is dangerous, and if I go after him on my own, he will probably hurt me or worse, kill me. In a barely audible voice, they plead that I don't do it alone. I will need training to protect myself. They will teach me, they whisper. I stop for a second, thinking about my journey and the acts of violence I committed. I begin by saying that I don't think it is a good idea. I pause for a second, knowing that we needed to have this conversation eventually before continuing. I tell them that I know they read the logs from my trip. They saw what I can become when I get angry, making me even more dangerous does not seem smart. What if I end up seriously hurting someone, or killing them? Comet gives me a caring look and says that what I did is okay. I didn't kill anyone, and I did what was necessary. They tell me that just because we stumble and make mistakes does not make us a bad person. They tell me that I am still a good person. I give them a slight nod of understanding and thank them, but how can I truly be a good person? Even if I hadn't killed people, I hadn't made an effort to help either. I have the knowledge of the universe at my disposal, and instead of using it to help people, I am instead working for my own personal goals. But maybe if at least one person can see me as good, then I can truly be it.
Aww.
We have the Eater of Happiness, made you look.
Wait, hold up. Select to see if there's no hidden text.
Mika? You know, actually, no, I'm doing it myself.
I didn't even do the jump scare.
Huh?
Weak timeout.
Oh. Weak timeout.
Weak timeout.
Oh my
for that.
god. Oh my god.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You stole the joy of the whimsy game.
Oh my god.
We are
Joy
not
and
wasting
whimsy
my
revolt.
time in Lore Tuesday. Even if it was 5 seconds.
Get trolled. Oh, you're
Yeah.
mad, you're mad.
You troll me, I troll you back. Made you look. Okay.
Hi.
Oh, we might have some lore sheets. Let me check. From the 16th. We do have a few lore sheets. Okay, we already read these. We have Zephyr Asteril. This is a new person. Zephyr comes from a planet called Naphis, a dark planet with very little water and a lot of hills and mountains, and some flat land. As he grew up, he picked up his own variant of science. He studied for years until the Great Anomaly. After everybody vanished, he had no longer had others to watch. He traveled the universe and eventually found solace. He found it was the most populated planet of any of the ones he'd been to. He chose to stay and do his observing and studying there. And we have Rin. Rin had run through a liminalian portal, arriving at Solace. They now seek shelter anywhere they can, or staying away from a specific someone. I wonder who that could be. Cool. You've talked about the person who made the thermonuclear power plant? Well, they made me look, so...
Is that amazing?
They should be glad I did not ban them for a week. Alright, flee the facility's going on. Let's go. Alright, tomorrow, we're gonna have a bunch of games and celebrating, looking back on old stuff, like clips from the year and stuff. I'll probably make like, actually I'll make it right now, a little announcement of like, people can post stuff from the past year. January of 2025 was the What If server. We'll probably go through stuff of that, and then the end of Season 5 and the beginning of Season 6 and everything that's been going on. You're making a best of 25. We will watch Frog's video with popcorn. And hot chocolate, of course.
Hell yeah.
With marshmallows. Yeah, it'll be fun. We're gonna end countdown to the Eastern midnight on the SMP. Unless maybe we should do it like an hour earlier than that.
I should do it like an hour ahead.
Yeah, I think we should do it an hour ahead maybe, because that's gonna be like nobody's time zone. Because Virgil said he was gonna be very sad that he could not kiss me at midnight if I was streaming during it. So
that's so cute.
Oh.
Yeah,
we'll probably do it an hour early or whatever. But
yeah, I say move it up like an hour earlier, just so like people can like be with their families during midnight and stuff like that, without like being like, oh well, I'm a close, I'm a dip, so I can actually go celebrate.
Yeah, okay, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. But yeah, I'm gonna make a channel for that. Let me actually put. Yeah, 9 p.m.'s fine. We go from 9 p.m. to 11.
Meeting.
Yeah,
the meeting looms.
Alright, I'll be streaming as soon as whenever I get on off of work tomorrow until that. Cool. I'll see you all tomorrow, and then I think I am not streaming again until next Tuesday. We do have faction meeting as normal on the 4th, blah blah blah. Light pushed me down the stairs. Maybe you deserved it. I'm kidding. That's terrible. Are you okay?
And flee the facility.
Oh. Yeah, you probably deserved it.
Yeah. What I said, Frog is such a poopy and flee the facility. I'm out of you, Frog. I'm out of you in stream. You're so poopy.
Damn.
Also, Bagel. Bagel is scary as hell.